It is Friday Night Lights here at Hofstra University, and the Vikings of Seaford are up to the challenge, and it is a stiff challenge at that, as Jackson Torres and the Red Devils of Plainedge looking to remain undefeated in this, the Nassau Conference 4 championship game. We want to thank our sponsors for tonight's game, of course, Edge Remodeling, Mad Men Barbers, as well as Sequa Deli and Catering. Well, a pleasant good evening, everyone. Dylan Butler alongside Kevin Dolan for this, the Nassau Conference 4 championship game. We've already crowned a champion here today. It was Massapequa, who remained undefeated, beating Oceanside. And now their guys from the north side of town are looking to repeat that. They stood and cheered for Massapequa on the sideline as they won their Conference 1 championship, and now the Plainedge Red Devils looking to do the same, but it will not be an easy task. We know that about these Vikings of Seaford. They will battle you until the very end.
Really is a great night of football, Dylan. I mean, I had the pleasure of watching a lot of Conference 4 football this year, and this is truly the best of the best. And this is what you want. The weather's beautiful. I'm digesting a Sequid Thanksgiving dinner right now, which was outstanding. What starts off football better than that? Turkey, beautiful night. Let's get it on.
Let's get it on indeed. Let's take a look at the bracket and see how these two teams got it on to get here. And when we look at the bracket, you'll see at the top of it, Plainedge, well, it doesn't get better than that, right? They have not given up a single point in the postseason. And Seaford had more of a battle, certainly, right, against Lynbrook. You see that 48-20 win to book their spot here. The top two seeds emerge into the championship game. How did those guys get there? Well, we also have some moving images for you. And in this one, it was a lot of that man right there, Brian Falk. What a game he had to lead the way. But how about Michael Calvaca?
Boy, talk about a name coming out of nowhere. You know, I mean, he's always been a valued member of the Vikings team, but he made his debut last week, and it's suffice to say, a big, big way.
Yeah, Calvaca and Falk, what a day they had. Another big run by Michael Calvaca, as it was all Seaford in that one, especially in the second half, as they knocked off Lynbrook. And in this one, it was all about a fella named Dylan. Dylan Fella, what a performance this was. That was a short touchdown run. His first, that was a 7-yard. Then he followed up with touchdown runs of 18 and 2. He'll take the toss right. He scores from 6 yards out. Then he finishes the game with this 42-yard touchdown, 19 carries, 174 yards on the ground, 5 touchdowns. Have yourself a day, Dylan Fella, as we take a look at the tail of the tape between these two teams.
You know, and Dylan, going back to Dylan Fella, he is the complete package, and he catches the ball. He's got 200 yards of receptions this year. He's just had a tremendous season. But as you said earlier, on the journey to come here, I'm not sure which of these I want. You know, Plainedge has rolled through the playoff series. They haven't given up any points. Seaford has had the battle, and sometimes in those battles you find yourself again and you continue to improve.
And you can see two similarities at the bottom of that graphic of points per game, both prolific offenses led by that run-heavy attack, but also, you know, in the old adage of defense wins championships, you see it there, right? Seaford only giving up 12.8 points per game, and there you see Plainedge as well. Of course, they are undefeated on the year. Seaford probably playing their best football at the right time. So that is the tail of the tape between these two, and let's dive in a little bit now to Seaford. 9-1 in the regular season, or on the season, I should say. Their only loss, of course, to Plainedge. These guys are a confident group, despite coming in as the underdog, but they like having that against them here tonight.
You know, waiting for this game, I was watching the end of the Massapequa game. Coaches in the booth were talking about, well, the last time Plainedge beat them 35-0. And I'm like, you can't look at that score that way. Sometimes with the kids, you get down a couple of touchdowns, things start to fall apart. This is going to be a different game. Here we are. This is for all the marbles. And Seaford has been getting better and better each week.
And two guys they'll lean on here tonight should they go on and win the championship. Yeah, they both got their hair dyed. You see Brian Falk on the left, Cal Vaca on the right. They will be impactful players on both sides of the football. Cal Vaca, we saw what he did running the football, and that's what he did last week against Lynbrook defensively as well.
And, you know, although Michael is the alter ego on defense in this graphic, he really is the alter ego on offense, too. When you have a kid that is that effective and a big playmaker, it takes a lot of pressure off of Brian, and it also divides the Plainedge defense.
So now let's talk Red Devils and these Plainedge team here in what is Rob Shaver's final year at the helm. They have been outstanding in all phases of the game, in kicking, in specials. We showed you the offensive and defensive numbers. They are 10-0 for a reason.
Yeah, and you know what? They're almost in a way, although the neighboring town to Massapequa, they're almost in a way a different type of Massapequa Chiefs team. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They're all products from great youth programs. And the other thing about Plainedge that I found, they don't get rattled when things don't go their way. And that happens to everybody.
And two guys that they're hoping can lead them to another county championship are our two players to watch. And these are two really special players. We just showed you Dylan Fella, who in that game got up to 800 yards. He's a couple games away or a couple good performances away from 1,000 on the year. And Bobby Westcott, he's a problem on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, you know, Dylan. We've been talking about him all the last 3 weeks. We'll talk about him all night tonight. Let's talk about the big lineman, Bobby Westcott. And Bobby, not only is he a ferocious drive blocker, he does the second most difficult thing to do in football, and that's pass block. And when you're giving Jackson that much time to throw the ball with a kid like Bobby, you've got problems on your hands.
It is Seaford and it is Plainedge. It's the Conference 4 championship game. We'll have our keys to this one and the opening kickoff when we return on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
And here he comes again. Off the backboard! Are you serious?
Daly tries another three. That one's good. One from the left corner, now from the right. Daly's on fire with 10 points in the opening quarter.
The loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash. What a way to end the third quarter.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today and let's get your team the recognition it deserves. You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights. But how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
back here at Stewart Stadium, there you see our head coaches in this one. On the left, it is Mike McHugh, second season at the helm, a 1989 graduate of Sewanaka High School, is also the offensive coordinator here. And Rob Shaver on the right. How about 30 seasons at the helm, 210 career wins for him, picked up 200 in week number 1 out of Island Trees, 1987. I will say this, it will not feel the same to watch Plainedge play without Rob Shaver on the sideline.
Yeah, you know what? They're a legacy program.
What would you like?
Winning for a long time.
What the hell is that?
I mean, Rob has been the foundation of this. He's set a different type of culture. I mean, they've always been strong culture there at Plainedge, but Rob has brought a different flavor of it. And I think the thing with Rob Shaver is he's evolved over time. He's changed. He's had different types of athletes, different types of situations in terms they've changed conferences a lot, and he continues to reinvent himself. And he's had a tremendous career. 30 years of coaching football. It's a long time.
Well, Plainedge, the first win of this one comes on the coin toss as they have won. They deferred to the second half. As we take a look now, Kev, we spoke with these two head coaches, and here's what they identified as their keys to this game.
Well, you know, for Seaford, containing Fella and multiple players is just not going to be easy. And I think the way Coach talked about it is it's a bend but don't break mentality. And the same goes for Torres. That's a big order right there, stopping Fella and Torres. Just try to keep them in the bag. The last thing is slow down that aggressive defense. Their defense coordinator, Adam Aborka, is going to really be sending them out. For Plainedge, you now have two big playmakers you got to be aware of. It's not just Brian, but you also got Calvaca. And they got to keep an eye on those guys. Be efficient on offense. Win the battles, especially of moving the chains. And lastly, it's what got Plainedge here every year, and that's block and tackle.
We spoke with both coaches also about their message before the game and that final huddle. And for Seaford, the message is, listen, this game needs to be mistake-free. We need to play our game, not worry about the scoreboard. It's 48 minutes regardless. Mike McHugh said, I believe that these teams are evenly matched, even though the last game on Halloween with the wind and the rain, that wasn't a good day for us, but we're more evenly matched than people think. He said, if we go out and play our game, worry about us and play mistake-free, he said, this game is ours. And for Plainedge, the goal all year has been to get to the Long Island Championship, and this is another step in that journey. We have to play really hard, try to limit mistakes, but our guys, Rob Shaver said to us, they don't need inspiration. They only need to look back at last year where they lost in this game, and their journey, what they hoped would be a journey to the Long Island Championship, was derailed. So opening kickoff of this one, it is fielded at the 15-yard line. A good return here for Seaford as their offense will step onto the field. They'll be led there by their quarterback, and that is Mike Spinella, the senior. You see the numbers there, completes 68% of his passes, has thrown for 1,300 yards, hasn't had to run the ball a lot, but he has rushed for a touchdown on the year.
You know, Mike's an interesting cat, too. You know, these numbers, those are loud numbers, but he does it very quietly. You know, he doesn't overshadow the offense. He's part of the offense. Does a great job of managing the game.
So Seaford, it's a 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Spinella back to pass. That's towards the sideline, diving towards a first down marker. And they'll say a dead ball. There are shouts perhaps of the potential of a fumble. But instead they'll say a dead ball, so the ball will be placed on the 42-yard line.
Boy, that's an exciting way to start this game. You know, it's actually a big call by the officials. That was not a bang-bang call. And a loose ball after a big pass. Ooh.
So 2nd and 3 for Seaford. Unless something big happens here, we'll get you their starters after this play. That is Falk being motioned out. So now it's going to be trips left for the Vikings. Spinella back to pass, goes that far side, and that is complete to Mark Valek for the first down. Let's meet those starters offensively for Seaford. Joining Spinella and Falk, you've got Hennessy, Rosen, Barone, and Valek up front. Arcuri, McNamara, Miranda, Kind, who is a beast on both sides of the ball, as well as DeFondi, just a sophomore, but DeFondi's a guy who is a strong kid and can move well. That's what they want out of that position. So it's a 1st and 10 for Seaford from the 50. As we have a stoppage here, and I guess an opportunity here, we can show you the starting defense for Plainedge.
Officials, timeout, equipment to repair.
Up front, you've got Camp, Roan, Westcott, and Fella. Your linebackers are Auer, Sinar, and Bartamakos. At corners, you've got Casino and Marr. And at the safety positions, Agavino, the coach's son, and the sophomore, Aiden Ryan.
Coaches and players extend those courtesies to them.
You know, Dom Agavino, number 9, is another example of how multi-dimensional Plainedge is. And they've just got a lot of guys that do the little things, and oftentimes more than the little things that to make them great. And you know what, I just always appreciate when you get coaches' sons out there. They do look at the game a little bit differently. Plus, they're hearing it in the car all the way home.
So our referee for today's game is Tom Sheehan, and I think he's looking to have communication with the booth here. And I'm not sure if this is a clock concern, as there's a look at Agavino. His dad, what a great coach he was at North Shore all those years, now part of this Plainedge staff.
And Dan, you know what? Dan, you know, besides, and I'm not underplaying that, leading North Shore for so many decades and to so many great games and championships, Dan has also been an integral part of leadership in the Nassau County Football Coaches Association, serving as its treasurer, running the exceptional senior game, which we'll be broadcasting on Thanksgiving morning. And Dan just does a tremendous, tremendous job. And a lot of it is that thankless work that many of you at home are asked to do at your own job, stuff that people don't want to do, but it has to get done.
So they continue to try to get communication, I think, up to the booth. There's a thumbs up from Tom Sheehan, so I think he saw what he hoped he would see. And there you see Coach Agavino on the sideline.
You know, Dylan, it was actually a very timely timeout for Plainedge. Seaford offense on that last series, what they did was they shifted into what's called an empty nest or no running backs. It's just the quarterback back there. And they showed that they did a great job of picking out what were their best receiver matchups. And we saw that on that 11-yard dig that we threw to the right sideline.
That's like your house right now, the empty nest.
The empty nest, that's right. That's right. And defenses don't like them, but dads and offenses do.
Oh, so we've got confirmation of the issue. This is such a hard-hitting game that the chain broke on the far side. Look at the crew that's currently trying to work on that at the 40-yard line. And I think they have it fixed.
It's like an old joke. How many gym teachers does it take to reattach a chain, you know? Goodness gracious.
Well, it has been repaired somehow. I hope our Kevin Catalanato doesn't disconnect it somehow, but that's a great look here from opposite sideline here at Hofstra as we zoom with a 1st and 10 from midfield for Seaford. Spinella, empty backfield. Pump fakes again. Look out. Pressure comes from behind. And just kind of tosses it out of bounds. There was an intended receiver there, but that pressure came from the backside.
Yeah, and that is the downside of these empty backfields, these empty nests, is that you do lose a blocker from the running back, and everybody up front has to be at their best.
So a 2nd and 10 here for Seaford. This is their first drive of the game. They were able to get a first down. You've got Hennessy and Rosen at the bottom of your screen. At the top is Barone. And I believe Valek. Now it is Falk in the backfield. Pass goes to far sideline. That's complete. It looked like that was Barone who made the tackle. Who made the reception.
Look at that pinpoint out. It's an 8-yard out. You know, they don't want to, they're worried about Brian Falk coming out of the backfield, so that clears the linebacker. There is a beautiful pass right on the mark, and what a conversion. Just getting that first down.
Peter Barone, slot receiver. They use him across the middle of the field. That his 20th reception of the season. So it's a 1st and 10 from the Plainedge 40-yard line. And again, Spinella back to pass. And again, a completed pass at that as he finds for a 2nd time tonight, Mark Valek.
Boy, that Plainedge defensive line is coming loaded for bear. They're getting closer and closer to Mike. But Mike, I tell you what great presence he's showing in the pocket, stepping forward and following through and completing these big passes. First series is always so important.
2nd and 2. Spinella, first handoff to Falk, and look at the explosion. As soon as he grabbed that football, Brian Falk was shot out of a cannon, and he'll move the chains again.
What a tackle by Dimitris Vardamoskos. But he really brings it on. That's the way you're supposed to tackle. You know, and it brings back all this youth. There he is, number 23, makes a read. Look at that engagement, gets his legs underneath him. Great job. And Brian Falk is not an easy guy to bring down.
And you saw Dylan Fella there helping out as it's trips left now for Seaford. 1st and 10 from the Plainedge 29. Here's Spinella. Now tries to angle his run, and he is forced out by the aforementioned Vardamakos for a short gain. Demetrius is that Swiss Army knife, both offensively and defensively for this Plainedge team. He'll play tight end, running back, a little wide receiver as well. Had 6 tackles in that semifinal win.
Yeah, he just gets it all done, and it's no mystery that, you know, listening to Coach Shaver talk about him this week and last week, if something were to happen to him, if he were to blow a shoelace in this series, he would be sorely missed.
2nd and 8 for Seaford. Spinella. Another completed pass. And, man, that was a tough one to pull down. You got to give credit, man, to Peter Barone.
Oh, Peter Barone. He caught this one right in the breadbasket. Oh, wow. What a job. Great job of concentration by Pete. Beautiful catch. And we're moving the chains. You know, the Vikings right now, folks, are controlling the clock. They're taking their time and getting the plays in they want. And they're moving down the field.
What an opening drive for Seaford. They're in the red zone now. 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line. They've done it largely in the pass game. Now Spinella looks for Falk. Oh, forget it. Backwards, 2-point takedown. What a terrific tackle by Johnny Sinar.
I think the Vikings right now, Dylan, are starting to think about, you know what? It's great getting these backs out of the backfield and spreading Plainedge out, but we need to get a little bit more protection.
And apologies, that was actually Casey Auer, the junior, who made the tackle. The guy looking to He's hoping to go to West Point to play lacrosse. And that ended up being a loss of 7 yards. So a 2nd and 17 for Seaford. There's a good look at Casey Auer, who brought the power. Spinella rolls right. He's got a receiver that's caught by Falk. Pulled down inside the 10.
Look at this again. You know, we've seen this play from Seaford over and over again. We saw it 2 or 3 times last week. They scored on it once. They take out Brian Falk, and it's called an alley route. Run him right down the sideline. They get Matt Kind in a big and timely pass block. Beautiful catch. Not an easy throw. I like what Seaford's doing by moving Michael around in the pocket a little bit more. It helps. You know, it's harder to throw in some ways, but it does help with the protection.
1st and goal from the 8-yard line. Here comes Falk trying to turn the corner. And it looks like he's tackled at about the 2-yard line.
That really was a great-looking play right there, and I didn't see the lineman that got out on that kick-out block. I'd love to see that one again if we could. But you know what? Brian is approaching that point of attack so fast, he may need to slow down a little bit so he can sneak inside those kick-out blocks. And here we go. And oh, no, it's Cal Vaca gets out there on that lead block. Boy, he plays like a big lineman.
2nd and goal from the 3. Direct snap to Falk. Turns the corner, and he's in the end zone. Brian Falk, a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Vikings get off to a perfect start in this Conference 4 championship game.
Beautiful, beautiful series. And what a way to cap it off. You know, come out in the Wildcat. There's our boy Cal Vaca out there, again, blocking like a big giant lineman. And, of course, you have Brian capping it off. Dylan, we've got the best on best tonight, and it's clear right from the first series.
So Joe Lynch on for the PAT. Thomas Miranda is your long snapper. John Weiland to hold. And this kick is up, and it is good. And what an opening drive. What a statement here by the Vikings of Seaford as Plainedge. Kevin, they've given up their first points of the entire postseason. I want to thank Edge Remodeling, who have provided exceptional general contract service in Franklin Square for several years. Owner and Sewanaka graduate Eddie Marquez, who joined us at halftime of that Conference 1 championship game. We know that he prides himself on satisfying customers by extending affordable, high quality, and professional services to make your remodeling dreams come true. Call today for consultation, 516-860-8630.
Representing their schools this evening, the cheerleaders and musicians.
What an opening drive for Seaford.
And such an important drive. You know, Plainedge right now, and this is not taking anything away from Plainedge, they're riding on a lot of hype. They're riding on a lot of prestige. Their years of excellence and consistency. There's a lot of energy in that. It was important for Seaford to come out here tonight and say, hey, boys, this is a football game. You've got to beat us to move forward, and we're not going to make it easy. And I think that's exactly what they said.
You can see the bottom of your screen. What a drive. 12 plays, 65 yards in 4 minutes and 6 seconds. One thing we know about Plainedge, though, they don't need a lot of time to get on the scoreboard, as they will start their first drive from midfield, and they'll be led there by an outstanding junior quarterback in Jackson Torres. You see the numbers on the year for Torres, a guy who could do it in both ways. Really, technically a 3-year starter for this Plainedge team. Did get hurt in his freshman year, but great arm strength, great size. He's that central casting quarterback.
First time I saw Jackson play was in that unbelievably exciting semifinal last year. I mean, we almost fell out of the booth watching this young man play. Incredible arm, and he's just an all-around athlete.
I'm glad that you didn't, because we are 4 floors up here at Schurig Stadium as It's Fella who runs around the right side for a couple of yards.
Number 12.
Let's meet the starters offensively for Plainedge. In addition to Torres and Fella, you've got Nitch, Auer, and Manfrey at the receiving positions. Bruno at tight ends, Pallone, Camp, Heffernan, McCloskey, and Westcott. Fumble on that snap going backwards was Vardamakos. The Seaford defense applying some pressure. Let's meet those starters now. It's a four-man front of Rosen, Kynes, Campbell, and McNamara. Your linebackers are Miranda, Conway, and Falk. In the secondary at the corners, Calvaca and Kofed, and Curry and Pignataro at the safety positions. 3rd and 12 for Plainedge. Torres under center. Uncharacteristic mistakes on this first drive. Handoff to Fella. He too tries to turn the corner. He's met by Falk. That's best on best. As this one, he is pulled down at about the 47-yard line.
Great run by Dylan Fella, but also an incredible collision by Brian Falk. You know, we've talked about both Brian and Dylan. It takes more than one guy to take them down, but maybe that's not the case when they're hitting each other.
So 4th and 6 for midfield, and it looks like the decision by Shaver is to punt the football.
Well, you got to watch out for these Red Devils in these midfield. They are slippery.
Yeah, and also Torres is your punter, so that makes things even more difficult.
6:55 remains.
And Seaford recognizing the danger there, and they utilize one of their timeouts.
Very, very timely call by Coach McHugh. Let's make sure everybody is aware of who is back there. And you know what? Historically, Plainedge and Coach Shaver, they are not afraid to take some chances right here at the midfield with the punt situation.
Well, with this pause in the action, Varsity Media reminds parents, coaches, and booster clubs, if you'd like coverage of your team on Varsity Media, contact us today to book a sportscast. Your team deserves the best coverage with the best announcers. Any team at any level can book. You could do so by emailing the guy that's on your screen, not Josh Kama, that is Ben Turchin, ben@varsitymedia.net. I don't know, can we put a circle on Ben so you know who you have to contact? It's not there.
That's the guy. That's the guy.
Call him. So 4th and 6, and they don't look quite in punt formation anymore, do they? Here's Torres back to pass, comes this way, and that is incomplete. Great coverage on the play by Mikey Kofod.
Boy, not only was that great coverage by Mikey Kofod was about a step and a half from turning this into a pick six. Whoa, that was one scary play for the Red Devils.
Now Seaford's got the ball at midfield. 1st and 10 from their own 48-yard line.
There's two wars. There's two battles, I should say. The game is the war, but the battles, there's two battles that Seaford is winning right now. And right now what they're winning is the time of possession.
Well, they're also being led there by Spinella. What an opening drive he had, going 7 of 8 for 52 yards. So 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line. Spinella back to pass. Wide open, but in and out of the hands of Barone. That is a rare drop by a sure-handed senior.
And that was one that Michael would love to have back, obviously. And you know what? I think what Michael needs to remember, and I'm sure Coach McHugh is going to remind him, you're going to get that one again. That's a play they're going to revisit. It's a nice little, what we call a dipsy doodle, where the two backs crisscross, and he slides underneath his own coverage. Beautiful, beautiful play.
There was not a defender in the vicinity of Barone. That could have been a massive play. Instead, it's a 2nd and 10 from the 48. Spinella looks this way, and he overthrows Brian Hennessy.
Second down pass intended for 1.
once again, we're going to see Michael is going to be, he's going to get to the sideline, and they're going to show him on his sideline tablet that we had Jack Rosen running, number 2, running right down the seam of the field with nobody around him. He bends that route up top, and they'll come back to that too. Coach Shaver had said earlier in the week in the interview that, one of the things you have to remember is that the other team is coaching as well. Coach McHugh and his staff have come with a great game plan for this night.
3rd and 10 from the 48-yard line. Trips left for Seaford. Spinella, look out, pressure comes his way, and he is sacked. Vardamakos with the sack.
Well, wow. I mean, Demetrius, look at this. They go with no backs in the backfield, but what Coach Avorka, the defense coordinator, dials up, he keeps the linebackers in. They go to man-to-man coverage, and they send maximum pressure. They just don't have enough people to block all those guys.
So after a first drive that stalled for Plainedge, kind of no harm, no foul here because you get a defensive stop. Agavino is deep. Defandi to punt. Miranda to snap.
Beautiful snap by Tommy Miranda right there.
And end over end, it will take a big Seaford bounce and will angle out of bounds inside the 20-yard line.
Nassau County.
So Conference 4, we take a look at the last 5 champions, and those Plainedge guys don't need any reminding of that loss a year ago to that Wantagh juggernaut. And you can see Wantagh's one of those schools that bounces between Conference 3 and 4. Plainedge did in the past as well. You see that Agavino coached North Shore team winning there as well. So not quite like we had in Conference 1 where it was largely one team, or even with Conference 2 with so many of those Garden City wins. That was a 41-yard punt by Defandi, and here comes Dylan Fella.
Coming away from first contact, Dylan Fella.
I think Seaford is fortunate maybe that there wasn't 15 yards tacked on, as it looked like it might have been Calvaca who continued that tackle.
Yeah, the kids, they got to calm down a little bit. Don't get any silly penalties. You saw earlier what that bad snap did to Plainedge. Well, they're not making those bad snaps right now, and look at that great run. This kid's a truck.
1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Back to Fella. Tries to cut it upfield, but a good-looking tackle from down low. I think Rosen was the first in on that tackle.
Plainedge Red Devils give you a lot of different looks. We've seen some spread look out of them right here. What you're looking at is called a power eye. It's kind of like a wishbone turned on its side. They're giving them lots of different things to think about. I like that because for offensively speaking, the best defender is a defender who has to take some time and think. When you're thinking as a defender, you're in trouble.
Trips right for Plainedge. 2nd and 10 from the 35-yard line. Here comes Torres, calls his own number, but he is spun down. He was looking for a blocker, but he was met by a green and white jersey.
Boy, Jack Rosen is having some night tonight, both on offense and on defense. He is all over the place. Great tackle, excellent penetration.
And you saw there, too, the wrap-up by Matthew Kind. He's the Martone Award nominee for Seaford, an award that goes to the best lineman in Nassau County. So it's a 3rd and 6 right now for the Red Devils. Torres keeps it himself, cuts it upfield, and he will get the first down. That is an athletic play by a really athletic quarterback.
Boy, he's so big. You know, the last time I saw him was in that semifinal game. Until last week, and I looked at him and went, man alive, how many pounds does this boy put on? He's a big kid who knows how to play this game. 6'4", 218 pounds. Not easy to tackle. But, you know, you see Matt Kind show up again right there, hustling around the field. When you're a Martone guy, that's something really special.
Handoff and a short gain by Fella. But with Torres, he's a guy who's got offers baseball-wise from St. John's and Delaware. Throws a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. But also there's some interest football-wise from Arizona State, Coastal Carolina. So Torres has options in both sports.
So great to have, you know, with these kids, with their obviously their classroom accomplishments and what they do on the field. And for those of you who don't know, his older brother was a star at St. Anthony's and now plays quarterback at Harvard.
Torres goes long, but unable to connect with Agavino. Yeah, Dante Torres just across the turnpike here. Had a great senior championship game as St. Anthony's, a loaded Friars team that not only had Torres at the QB, he was blessed with receivers like KJ Duff and Ian Strong, who are currently playing at Rutgers. They went on and won the championship. They won their first state championship as well up in snowy Buffalo. 3rd and 10 as the handoff comes our way. It is Fella. That is a terrific solo tackle to Brian Falk. I love that best on best are meeting here in this one.
You know, Seaford is really buzzing around on defense. It's a much different Seaford defense than we saw a few weeks ago in the regular season. And look, who is this? Oh, there's Brian Falk. Hunt him down. Now that dog can hunt. Look at him. Real great job, and he does it with a great alligator roll at the end.
So 4th and 4 from the 47. And again, you have that dual threat of Torres, who can punt the football. So Falk will go deep in coverage just in case he does. And it's a timeout that will be called by Shaver and Plainedge with 2:22 left here in the first quarter. Well, we had a doubleheader here today, and Kevin, we got a doubleheader tomorrow. It's the Conference 2 championship game as Long Beach. Maybe this is a revenge tour for the Marines. They avenged their first loss of the year in the semifinals by beating Mepham, and now they'll go for the juggernaut of juggernauts, Garden City, who's got a New York State record winning streak in the 60s. I think it's 64 right now. And in the nightcap at 4:30, there will be some violence in a fair way, but it'll be Bethpage and in a clean way. But Bethpage and Mwanta, they both love to get after it, and that should be a fun final as well. Bethpage surviving a late rally by Southside to win in the semifinals, and Wansaw Carey was one of the best games, period, but certainly one of the best games of last weekend in the semifinals.
My Irish relatives would call that game an old-fashioned Donnybrook. I think we're going to have tomorrow night.
So here we go, 4th and 4. What's the decision? Pressure comes. Torres dumps it down, and he is knocked down, and the ball is knocked down as well. Another stop by the Seaford defense.
Oh, man. You know, I'm not rooting for anybody here tonight, but you got to love to see, you know, who everybody is calling an underdog come out here and say, you know what, win or lose, we're going to play the heck out of this game. And that's what the Vikings are doing right now. They are letting it all hang out, and they're executing.
Now, they weren't able to capitalize on their last turnover on downs. Let's see if they could do it here. 1st and 10 from the same spot, really, midfield for Seaford. Toss goes the right side. Falk tries to turn it back upfield, and he is stopped right at the upper portion of that midfield H for Hofstra.
Yeah, you made a really good point, Dylan, in that 4 and out that we just experienced and the one prior to it when Seaford got the ball. They have to look at that as almost like a turnover. They need to take those situations and at minimum turn the field around, at maximum get some points out of it.
They lose a yard on that first down run, so it's 2nd and 11 from the 46-yard line. A misdirection. Here's Spinella. Tucks it under and getting a big old bear hug on him. Was that Westcott?
Yes, it is. Well, yes, it is. He swallowed him up in there on that tackle. You know, we need to get Mike to put that ball away. He's doing a Josh Allen imitation right now, and Josh was running last night down the field and gets drilled, but he's got one hand on the ball, but it doesn't matter because his hands are so big. Don't lose the ball. Secure it. Let's live to play the next play.
Final minute now of this first quarter, as it'll be Spinella. Great clock management by Seaford. Ducks under, look out! It's another sack. This time it was 5-0. Jaden Camp.
Jaden Camp comes in here hungry, 6 foot 215, swallows him right up. We got another Red Devil under the pile there, but Jaden Camp's the one who finished him off. Very, very timely play for the Red Devils.
And Camp, like so many of these other Plainedge players, a wrestler, an all-county wrestler. You've got that great synergy from wrestling. That is a sport near and dear to Rob Shaver's heart, as well as football. Well, we thought Plainedge would be the favorite coming in, but Seaford, they drew first blood here. As the Vikings direct snap, Falk, he knows the way. He doesn't need a GPS to find the end zone. He's got that down pat. 7-0 Seaford after 1 on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
What's up, this is Sean Lights Out Merriman, former Charger and Bill, and you're watching Varsity Media.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Well, Sequodelli, which is named because it is right there at that border of Seaford and Massapequa, they are your one-stop shop for Thanksgiving catering. Listen, Kev, I know you well enough to know, you've got 2 concerns on Thanksgiving, or 3 maybe. It's family, it's food, and it's football. But why bother dealing with the food at home, right? Let's just go to Sequodelli, see all the options they have there. You could check the list with a hot buffet, a la carte. And I know, listen, it's circled for you. I know you love those pies. So many options there.
I'm a big pie guy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm taking Laura off the hook. We're ordering from Sequodelli.
Are you an apple pie or a pumpkin pie?
Pumpkin.
All right. Maybe I'm in the minority here. I'm an apple pie guy here. The punt will take a Seaford bounce again. It feels like, at least early on, that they're getting all of the, no pun intended, all of the bounces so far. But it's a dangerous game you play when you don't capitalize on turnovers and you don't turn those into points. this Plainedge team is too good to be kept scoreless for too long.
If you're a coach with the Seaford Vikings, you do have to be concerned about the last 2 series. We didn't move the chains at all. And if you're not moving the chains, you're dying. You got a problem on your hands, even when you're winning, because these punts are shortening this field a little bit more every series, and you can't keep giving Plainedge these opportunities.
So Plainedge will start from their own 23-yard line. In motion was Nitch. There'll be a direct snap. And now look at Torres. He's the lead blocker for Dylan Fella. Fella turns the edge. And this will be an additional, I think, additional yards here, or are they going to call it against Fella for trying to leap over the defender? Our referee tonight, Tom Sheehan.
Never quite understood this rule. It's changed a couple of times. You know, the rule is you can't jump and leap over a tackler because of the danger of the situation. But how they interpret it is not always clear cut. Well, we're going to find out.
Yeah, we'll see what Tom Sheehan says, and then we'll...
I'd love to see the signal from Tom, what that call is. Leaping and jumping is the penalty.
I'm not sure if he's going to do both.
I hope so.
So Sheehan will... Looks more like a hold on the offense.
Holding is the call.
And we take another look. That's circled there because watch Torres as the lead blocker.
Boy, I don't see it, you know, very, very tight right there. Referee, though, he's pretty ferocious in throwing that flag, so he must have seen this very clearly. What a life, though, when you got a 218-pound quarterback blocking the way for you, and the kid's loving it. There's talk about a best-on-best situation.
I think there are multiple options there, which probably means that somebody did hold, right?
Yeah.
What's the old saying? There's a hold on every play.
It sure is.
So it's 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line for Plainedge. Again, we'll go direct snap. We'll take that same play. We'll bring it this side. And again, it is Fella turning, spinning, and finally down at the 42-yard line. You love it when your star quarterback, granted, you love that he's 6'4", 218, but you love that he sells out for his team as that lead blocker.
Unselfish leader. And you know what? I coached football for 36 years. God bless them. I loved all the quarterbacks, but some were a little more into themselves than others. This kid, he does everything for this team. He's wearing that plane. The only thing important to him is the jersey and the people around him. That's what he's playing for right now.
Pretty big first down there for the Red Devils as well. They've got 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. This time it is Torres, and he's spun down. Tackled there.
By 81.
Andrew Speed, number 81. Andrew impressed me last game. Andrew was not somebody we were talking a lot about. I mean, of course he's important to this team, but we weren't talking a lot about him throughout the week. And he came up with some huge plays last week. That was a great tackle right there.
That was a 1-yard gain for Torres. So 2nd and 9 from the 42-yard line. Nitch will be motioned out to the right side. Direct snap again. Fella pulled back and down. What a terrific tackle. Is that Rosen again?
Yes, Jack Rosen. I was going to say earlier that he's doing all the little things today. Well, this was a big thing. Wow. What a great play. What a great tackle. And that is not an easy kid to bring down by yourself.
3rd and 18 now. Seaford defense, they have come to play. It's a defense that doesn't give up a lot of points when you look at it on the year. Just 12.8 points per game. Torres back to pass. Pressure comes his way. Ducks under it and runs towards the sideline. Angles his run, dives forward, but will be short of that first down marker. That's the way you take down a mobile 6'4" quarterback. Get him at the legs. Jackson Pignataro.
You know, I got to apologize, Dylan. That was Brock Conway, number 81. I'm looking at my wrong sheet here. But again, the point was well taken because I remember that odd number, 81, playing linebacker. He really did a wonderful job last week. And we're seeing him do that for the Vikings right now. So apologies, Brock, and great job on that single down tackle.
4th and 3 now for Plainedge. Seaford's already gotten a couple of stops on 4th down in this first half. Toss to the right side. Agavino stopped short. What a collision. And again, the Vikings come up with a big defensive play, Kevin.
Something's got to break in this game. I mean, what I thought was going to be a highlight series of offenses, this is becoming a test of defensive wills. This field position is awful when you think about it for defenses. And they got to... Vikings got to make something happen here. They're crossing the road here right now. Great defensive stance.
It's their 3rd time now where they're looking to capitalize off a turnover by Plainedge. Spinella goes back to what was a very successul play calling on that first drive. That was an out to Rosen.
Very interesting, Dylan, that this series, they're going right back to the stuff that made that first series happen. A lot of those quick outs. I wouldn't be surprised that we see a couple of more stick routes. The power play to Brian Falk. That's what they did well in that first series.
Yeah, we saw a lot of multiple receivers. Barone got involved. Villek got a first down reception. Here's 2nd and 6 now. Little pump fake. Spinella, he will look long. He's got a receiver. Touchdown, Seaford. Brian Hennessy.
Oh, wow. Let's look at this from the pass protection right from the beginning, from the big dogs up front. Mike Spinella had a lot of time to throw that ball. Yeah, look at number 52, Kind. He's really plugging up that inside, and it gives Michael all that time to set his feet and throw. And what a catch by Brian Hennessy. Beautiful play.
There were multiple terrific blocks on that. We'll take maybe another look at that as well, as that PAT attempt is up and good. And what a start for Seaford, as the Vikings, they did exactly what we said they needed to do there. They capitalized on another defensive turnover. They've now taken a 14-0 lead. But you shouted out one. How about I'm going to shout out 57 on this one. Aiden McNamara, the left guard, does his job as well. You see him here at the top of your screen.
Check that out. Wow.
Right, so he's going to make sure that he blocks enough time. On the bottom of your screen, right? Terrific blocking there as well.
Folks at home, these are not two dancing bears jumping around out there. This is a very athletic, very difficult thing to do. Offensive pass blocking in football. And that was a clinic from those boys. And of course, Aiden McNamara and Matthew Kind and the rest of the gang. Great job.
On the bottom of your screen that we showed you there, that was Rick Abono, the senior right tackle. So yeah, everybody up front did their assignments the right way, and Seaford out to a 14-0 lead. It is the first bit of adversity for Plainedge this postseason. This one is fielded by the up man at the 30-yard line.
The returner is
And I'll tell you, the
number 10
Vikings, they
for
are
the Red Devils,
rallying to the football. They're
Joseph
playing
Manfred.
really terrific defense and special teams as well.
Not a huge fan of these short kicks. You know, and I don't know if Seaford right now doesn't have the ability to kick it deep, or they're a little concerned about those returners. But you know, given Plainedge field position, it's playing with fire, and concerns. I think as a Viking, that concerns me just a little bit.
You look at the season for Plainedge, and you know, when would they truly challenge? They beat North Shore 40-0 to start this season. They beat Island Trees 48-6, Cold Spring Harbor 43-8. Lynbrook was a 10-point game. That was 45-35. But really, they were never truly challenged. And even by this Seaford team, you go back, it was a scary Halloween for the Vikings. They lost 35-0 on that day, but a much better performance. Torres slings it. And that's the kind of first half it's been for Plainedge, in and out of the arms of Casey Allen.
And you know what? For great teams, they're going to have these moments. And, you know, we see that. You see that, folks, every weekend in the NFL, in the NCAA. You know, you're not always going to get your red jelly bean. And you've got to keep plugging away and plugging through. But that's why they're great, resilient teams, because it's a four-quarter game, and Plainedge has a history of figuring it out.
Well, right now, that jelly bean is black licorice one for these Red Devils. We've got to get this playoff in time. They will here. Direct snap again. Fella tries to follow the block of Torres. Turns the corner. And a short gain by Fella.
Great collisions on defense. And again, we see offensive center and defensive end. Tommy Miranda, number 52, get out there and finish that off and bring a little bit more of that size to the situation.
Yeah, Miranda, a key guy here defensively, had 7 tackles and 1 for loss in the semifinals, but he also anchors the offensive line as well. So a 3rd and 7 now for the Red Devils. They've got trips right. Torres, and first Rob Shaver will elect to talk things over.
I think Coach Shaver knows right now that this is an important series here. It's an important play right here. They need to move the chains. They are 1 touchdown away from this game starting to gain a momentum that is difficult to control. 21 points is a statement, and Plainedge doesn't want to put themselves in that situation.
You see the last 3 years for Plainedge. They lost a year ago to Wantagh. They reached the semifinals the year before, lost in that one. In 2022, they won their 8th county championship, and they ended up losing in the Long Island Class 3 championship. I believe that was the Sayville. But there's a tradition of excellence really for both of these programs, but that's a little bit of a look in there at the recent history of a Plainedge team that has had their share of success here. 3rd and 7 now for Plainedge from their own 43-yard line. Torres ducks under, pressure comes! And there was really no receiver there. Could have easily been an intentional grounding, but what pressure came there when Torres ducked out of the pocket initially.
And here, I believe it's my boy, number 81, Brock Conway. There we go. That is him. There we go. Great job. Tenacious running. Great job by Brock. And again, this kid is another one of those, we've been talking about him the whole series, super sophomores.
And he barely getting the punt off. And look out, it's a live football. I think Seaford still comes away with it, but that was dangerous. Right? There's a reason why coaches, a lot of times, they'll call poison, because you're supposed to actually move away from poison. Fortunate here, as again, another literal bounce goes Seaford's way. Close one.
For 36 years, I've been screaming poison, and there are boys, some of them with extremely high IQs, continue to walk closer to the ball. I'll never understand it, but they just get so excited out there on these big turnarounds.
Look at the numbers on the game there for Spinella. 9 of 12. These are live numbers. 101 yards and a touchdown. He came in completing 68% of his passes. 17 touchdowns on the season.
I think we're going to see Seaford right now, Dylan, or I expect to see Seaford. Again, go back to that first series mentality. Take your time.
Spinella, he did look the way of Rosen, and that was an incomplete pass. Agavino was in coverage.
Now, there are those early out routes that Seaford likes to throw, but in that situation, they threw it out of trips. 3 receivers on the same side. A little bit crowded to throw that kind of a pass.
If Seaford can somehow find a way to get in the end zone again here, man alive.
Well, let's get Mr. Falk back involved in this thing.
Another empty backfield for Spinella. Pressure comes, ducks under it, still keeps it. Tries to angle his way, and he's taken down at the 35-yard line. There is a flag down on the play, though. Our referee, Tom Sheehan, I think he'll indicate this to be a hold on the offense. So the hold on the offense is the call.
See where this hold comes from.
You saw the flag was already thrown there, so it's
yeah,
hard to tell, but they'll back him up 10 yards here. Suffolk County right now playing their Division I championship game, and it's Floyd and Ward Melville tied at 14. The winner of that one will take on Massapequa in the Long Island Class I championship game. Congratulations again to the Chiefs on another county championship. What a win that was over Oceanside. Comprehensive in all phases. Here is Falk on the direct snap. Angles his run. Brian Falk, that is a huge touchdown saving tackle.
Yes, he was just shifting into 5th gear. What a play right there.
Nick Casino with the tackle.
This is what I was saying a little bit earlier. You know, I think we haven't seen enough of Brian. He's one of the best players on this field, and he just hasn't touched the ball enough. They've thrown it to him a couple of times. Now we're seeing him in a wildcat formation.
Here's 3rd and 4. Falk tries to turn it upfield. This will be an interesting placement here. In the regular season game, that 35-0 win over Plainedge, Falk was limited to just 26 yards on 13 carries. Never very good at math, but that's like 2 yards per carry, and that's not Brian Falk type numbers.
No. And you know, I was talking about that 35-0 game and not taking anything away from Plainedge. Plainedge dominated the game. Took control of the whole thing, which they're supposed to do. But sometimes with boys, with the kids this age, you get down by 3, maybe 4 touchdowns, and just everybody starts getting a little bit sad, and bad goes to worse. It's a very different game tonight.
Oh, we'll take a break here with this timeout. 5:48 left here, second quarter. You're watching the Conference 4 championship game on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities.
So Falk, did he turn himself into a first down? That'll be the question. A lot of pointing on both ways. It would appear from our vantage point, Kevin Dolan, that he did get it, and Tom Sheehan confirms that. Look at this second effort here by Falk.
Yeah, you know, the Plainedge fans don't like it. I don't blame them, but the second effort, you got a little bit of a tush-push going on from the rest of the Vikings.
He was wrapped up here by Auer behind the first down marker. And then it was the turn, so smart by Brian Falk to get that first down.
And then we see McNamara and Kind get in on the push there. That's a lot of body weight.
And that last timeout that was called, that was Seaford's, it was Plainedge's final of this first half. So Seaford could theoretically wind down the clock here to end this first half. Another quick out to Villek.
Caught by number 11, Mark Villek.
He'll get out of bounds inside of Plainedge territory. Villek, really good receiver. Seaford has elected this season to use him in the deep game. Good hands as well for the senior. Villek came into this game 13 receptions, 5 touchdowns on the year.
Both teams, I was saying to you in the break, Dylan, both teams showing a lot of intestinal fortitude with field possession, going for a lot of these 4th and shorts. That's tougher than me. That spells heartburn in my life.
2nd and 2. Low snap. And that was Falk, and he was pulled backwards. That was a good-looking tackle on that play by Ryan Heffernan. I want to remind folks to stay tuned at halftime as Brian Soper and I will get a little taste of the Sequa Deli and what they have offered here during Thanksgiving. And we'll also be joined by Section 8 Executive Director Pat Pizzarelli as well. 3rd and 4 for the Vikings. Spinella on his back foot. He's got a target downfield. There was a lot of jostling for position. Villek was the intended target, but I like the decision here by the officials who let the two of these guys just go after it.
Yeah, there's a lot of equal pressure going on out here. You know, for those of you at home who saw the referee throw his hat, they felt, you know, the official felt that Mark stepped out of bounds in order to gain an advantage. It's very, very interesting play, and I like that Seaford took a shot at it.
That was Nick Casino, who was the defender on that play. And this time, I don't think that Seaford will go for it. They did go for it on 4th and 1, but this is 4th and 4 with 4:09 left in this first half. So the Vikings will likely punt from here.
Not that they need to hear this from me. Good decision, bad decision, but I do like this decision. Got 4:09. Let's get some field position. They're playing great defense, Seaford, but let's do it from a long field and not from the 50.
Logan DeFondi would be the punter. As again, you can see the conversation there among the officials with Tom Sheehan, the white hat. We had a lengthy delay on the first drive for broken chains.
Flag is down.
What was that?
I'm not sure.
Looked like a dance move.
It was the Tom Sheehan boogie, apparently. He wasn't definitive in his call.
I think maybe that was the point. get that unpopular call out there and
Penalties against Seaford.
kind of hide it. Let's move on.
44 and a fourth down.
Yeah, illegal touching. Stepping out of bounds and coming in, you're the first one to touch it.
Well, I think they were going to punt anyway. This one, though, is more manageable here for Agavino. Catches it on the fly at the 25-yard line. Agavino cuts it upfield, turns, and he's finally taken down at about the 46. Good return for Dom Agavino.
Boy, Dom really can run. He's got some speed, and you know what's interesting about Dom, and it's also what makes him a great lacrosse player. He's got a number of different speeds that he uses to gain advantage in open angles.
So 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line, inside of 4 minutes remaining in this first half. And listen, all credit goes to the Seaford defense, but you're just kind of waiting. When will this vaunted offense for Plainedge kick into gear?
Yeah, Coach Shaver's got a lot of tricks in his toolbox. They do a lot of different things, Plainedge. If they're going to pull one of them out, this is about the time.
Well, they go more conventional, but again, going nowhere was Fella.
Whoa, look at Connor Campbell right here. Really D's up on this blocker at 6'3", 275 pounds. What a great play by that young man.
Yeah, defensive tackle, the senior. Takes up a lot of real estate on the inside there. Does a great job making that tackle for a 2-yard loss. Connor Campbell wearing number 73. What a great job he did there. There's a good look at the 6'3", 275 senior. Another handoff, and again it goes to Fella and gets himself a couple of yards, but it's going to be a 3rd and long now for the Red Devils.
Dylan Fella, you know, he's not this half. He's not having the night that he'd hope he'd have. He gives you every ounce that he's got on every single carry. This boy, he's a bruising running back who has a lot of speed. My instincts are telling me we may get a chance to see some of his catching ability as well.
Third and 8. Torres in shotgun. Look out, Campbell chases him down. He's going to throw it away. Nice agile feet there by the big man.
Yeah, I tell you what, he was going after him like Jackson, like he was a pumpkin pie right there. He really, really can motor. You know, for these big boys, you know, I mean, the size definitely helps you, obviously, on the offensive line. But when you're like Connor Campbell and you've got good balance and you can change direction, watch the speed. Look what he does. Little swim move inside, and he hunts him down. Great job.
Well, 4th and 8 now from the 48-yard line. Plainedge, you see the number in the bottom of your screen. 0 for 3 on 4th down conversions. Torres ducks under, sidearm, finds Auer, and the Red Devils, they'll finally convert on 4th down.
Really, Seaford, Plainedge's first big play of the night, and boy, was it time for it. Casey Auer, man of the hour. He's got the power. Look at this. Sets his feet, steps up. Too sweet to be sour.
I didn't know if you had another one in you. And you pulled that one out of something there. 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. Torres takes the high snap. Again, kind of sidearmed it, but then it was knocked down by Matthew Kind.
Well, Plainedge has shown that ability to be a bend but don't break and resilient team. Now it's time for Seaford to do that, and I think we're seeing it on this play. Look at this pass blocking over here by the Plainedge offensive line. You know, we were singing before about Seaford. These guys can also get it done.
Trips left for Plainedge. 2nd and 10 from the Seaford 31-yard line. Torres, good protection. That was a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, and it was picked off. Interception.
Wow, and I think we're going to get a holding call on Plainedge as well on this.
As Pignataro came away with it.
Oh, Pignataro. He got introduced to me last week as Piggy, and it's an affectionate name from his teammates. And I'll tell you what, he's drawing a lot of friendship right now. What a timely play. Boy, he took a beating on that extra pop at the end as well. Tough kid.
And it was Falk who came away with the tip again, which popped it up perfectly for Pignataro.
Well, you know, Dylan, the important thing right now is, I mean, it would be great to score. It's more importantly to kill this clock right through the half.
We don't have this stat here. I like to keep a lot of different stats, but I do not know if there was a half of football, and I would doubt it actually, considering all the lopsided scores as Falk spins and turns to about the 42. If Plainedge was ever shut out in the first half, I would highly doubt it.
I don't think so, you know, especially with the long list of great players.
Plainedge has been limited to 77 yards of total offense in this first half. Second and 5 now for Seaford inside the final minute. What has been an outstanding first half for them, and Falk will turn and get out to the 45-yard line. Make it the 44, so he'll be shy of the first down marker.
I'd love to see Seaford speed this up a little bit, get the first down, maybe use two of those two timeouts they have at the end. Take some time to maybe throw one or two up.
3rd and 1. The clock will stop if they are able to move the chains. And what do we have here? Timeout for Seaford. They've got one remaining now in this first half with 21.5 seconds left in this first half. Folks, now is your chance to score a touchdown with Varsity Media's ISO video. Video footage that focuses on your athlete only. It's perfect for recruiting reels. Now booking for the winter season, just email Jeff at varsitymedia.net for more information.
You know, folks, as a coach who has sent a lot of kids off to play college football, you know, your coach is going to provide you with game film and provide the college coaches with game film. But that ISO video, it really does, it really draws interest. If that's what you're looking for that edge on recruiting, it makes a big difference. And I've seen that done in real time for the kids.
So 3rd and 1 for Seaford out of the timeout. Plainedge, no timeouts left in the first half. Seaford's got one. Spinella, deep drop. Wide open is Falk down the left sideline. Brian Falk is pulled down inside the 25. He has been outstanding in this first half for Seaford.
You know, you want to get your best players the most touches on the ball. And, you know, as a coach, I've kind of found it a little frustrating. I wish he would touch the ball more this game. Well, here you go. Look at this kid, man.
What a play call.
Yes, beautiful play call. And you know what? Maybe that's the beauty of what Coach McHugh is doing. He's not overdoing it with Brian. He's showing off some of the other talent that he's got on this team, talent that got them here to Hofstra. And now, you know, it gives him that opportunity to come back to Brian. And, yeah.
Let's meet the offensive line, and what a job these guys have done here today. Arcuri and McNamara, Miranda, Kind, Riccobono. We've also seen the sophomore Logan DeFondi split time with Riccobono as well. They have done an outstanding job for Folk, for protecting Spinella and allowing this offense. They've not necessarily cooked, but they have simmered. They have been in the pot, and they've made sure that the usually red-hot Plainedge offense has been off the field. So it's a 1st and 10 now from the 25-yard line.
And 4 of these guys turn around and do it on defense. I mean, just such a great job.
Spinella sidearms it, looks end zone. No touchdown. That is out of the side of the end zone. So close there for Brian Hennessy.
Incomplete by number 1, Brian Hennessy.
Gotta love it too. I mean, great coverage right back there, and that is, who is that for Plainedge? Number 33. That is Sean Mayer. Great job of sinking and making that. But you know what? Also a great job by Mike Spinella. He put that ball in a spot where if Seaford doesn't catch it, nobody catches it. Very, very mature decision.
So a 2nd and 10 from the 25. There's 2.7 seconds left. Neither team with a timeout remaining here in the first half. So let's see what the Vikings have dialed up here. Can they go get in the end zone? Maybe a 3rd time here in this first half. Trips are right for Seaford. Empty backfield for Spinella. Spinella again looks end zone. Touchdown Seaford! Hennessy with no time left in the first half. It wasn't quite a Hail Mary, but their prayers were answered.
Wow, look at this play. Incredible play. You know, I almost missed the replay here because I'm scanning the field for flags. Clean play, no calls. Oh, wow. Wonderful job.
Miranda is your long snapper. Weiland to hold. And that is perfect by Lynch. And what a first half for the Vikings of Seaford. In the regular season, they lost to Plainedge 35-0. But it is the Vikings, the number 2 seed, with a 21-0 lead. Look at this again. It's not a Hail Mary. I'm not sure what prayer it was, but it was answered in the end zone by Brian Hennessy. Touchdown for Seaford, and the Vikings have a 21-0 lead. You're watching the Nassau Conference 4 championship game on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
And here he comes again. Off the backboard! Are you serious?
Daly tries another 3. That one's good. One from the left corner, now from the right. Daly's on fire with 10 points in the opening quarter.
The loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash. What a way to end the third quarter.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
It is Championship Friday here at Hofstra University, and football and food, they go together, don't they, Soap?
Yeah, Thanksgiving, right? Thanksgiving meals, family football, right? Turkey, nothing better.
Can we see that hat right there? That is
spectacular. I'm in the mood.
Season.
Yeah, in the season, Sailors, Chiefs, right? We had Vikings, Red Devils, treat, right? A feast, right? The guys are feasting out there, right? We're about to feast up here in the booth.
So Thanksgiving right around the corner, right? And for me, it's about the 3 F's, right? It's food, it's family, it's football. We bring that all together here where we welcome in the Seaford Deli again. I know it's a big favorite of yours. You were out there.
Yeah, me
at
and
the
Joey.
Seaford Deli. And it's fitting, too. They've got so many of their teams here as well, right? Massapequa, Plainedge, Seaford as well. And they've got a great deal going on for Thanksgiving. Listen, it is not too late to order. Packages starting at 12 people minimum, or you can get their individual dinners. They'll also cater Christmas and Super Bowl parties. So you want to call right now, 516-799-5600, or stop in and see them. There you see their menu, a terrific array of things. Listen, last thing I want on Thanksgiving is to go and be in the kitchen, right? I want to just order, get it, pick it up, eat, let's go.
Yeah, let Sequid do it for you, right? Tremendous people. Delis are like football, right? You rally around delis, you rally around the community, right? And Sequid Deli does it all, right? They're tremendous, right? They'll do everything. They won't wash the dishes for you, but they'll do everything else and take care of it, make it an easy Thanksgiving for you and your family.
Well, they took care of us today, so you saw that menu. We've got the individual dinner here. It's a pre-Thanksgiving feast for us, Soap.
Yeah, happy hour with turkey, baby.
How great is that? So let's bring it in here. We've got all of the fixings.
Yeah, don't
Check
drop
this
it,
out.
Dill. It's pretty
Look at
heavy.
that.
Yeah.
How beautiful is that? You got the turkey. We got the sweet potatoes, some broccoli and carrots.
Whoa!
It's about,
oh my gosh!
It's about 5 pounds. It feels like
Yes,
of food.
sir.
And you saw the prices. I mean, it's so well done. So I don't know what you want to go for first here.
I'm a turkey guy. I'm gonna rock the turkey, right? That carved.
You know what I like to do for these, Soap? I like to kind of bring everything all together.
Oh, you're a mixer, huh?
Yeah, little mix. So I get a little turkey, a little sweet potato, and a little mashed potato. I'm gonna put my mic up because I've learned my lesson.
Yeah, you did, but I didn't. I just went right in. I didn't waste any time. That turkey's delicious, right? It's moist, right? It's still hot. I don't know how they do it, right? But unbelievable job. All right, let's go in for some mashed potatoes.
That's the thing that hit me too with the moistness of it, right? That's your biggest concern, I think, at least for me, with turkey, is that it's dry, right?
Yeah.
Not at the
not
Seaford
here.
Deli,
Definitely
man.
not.
Wow, that was amazing stuff.
Yeah, like we can't, we got second halves to do here. We can't let that. What is that? The tryptophan kick in and take a nap, right? We can't, no sleeping on these teams, right? We've seen plenty of great action out there. This is it. All the marbles, right? Going for that county championship.
Another look again. Look at this is outstanding stuff.
Going for some of
Look
that.
at that.
Turkey,
Soap will
baby.
jump back in again.
Gobble gobble.
And listen, it's also the time of the year we remember our friends and those who aren't with us on these broadcasts. Mike Hungerford, right? Such a big part of these food reviews. And I'm pretty sure, I think he's flying somewhere. He might be over Indiana right now, coming back home here for Thanksgiving. He'll hit up the Sequid Deli. But I think right now, I think I know the grade. I think I know where he'd go with this one. What do you think?
Yeah, we got 2 turkeys up, right? Put them up in the air, right? Unbelievable job, Sequid Deli. Joey, right? Joey, Diesto, you're watching this, right? You said Thanksgiving, right? Get me, let's get Sequid over there. Let's go for round 2.
It is a hungy thumbs up. Great stuff, Sequid Deli. Let's pop up that menu again. Folks can see it. There is your whole thing. You can go the hot buffet package. You can go a la carte. you can get all the fixings. Like, and honestly, what you could do is you just get that whole turkey, right? Go to the Seaford Deli before all your friends and family show up and be like, man, I've been in the kitchen this whole day.
Yeah.
I mean, and then after that, right, if you even have room, you should save room because you've got the pies.
Yeah, vanilla cream pie, blueberry, cherry, pecan. I know Coach Hungy loves that Dutch apple crumb. Are you kidding me? The pies are amazing, right? The desserts, right? You got shrimp cocktail platter, antipasto platter, veggie dip, carved turkeys. What else can you ask for? Shout out to Sequid Deli. Unbelievable job. Thanks for feeding us here in the booth.
Yeah, so again, it's not too late to order. Packages start at 12 people minimum, or you get these individuals dinners like Soap and I had. They'll also cater Christmas, Super Bowl parties. Once again, call 516-799-5600 or stop in, see them. Maybe on the side you
They're
get a cheap
open on
special.
Thanksgiving, 7 to 2. Even if you forget, right? Somehow you wake up in the morning, you forget, they got you covered, 7 to 2.
Or if you make that mistake, right? Like you put it in too long, you drop the turkey, you fumble it on the one. Sequid Deli's got you covered.
Yeah, especially dessert. You forget dessert, run out there, grab a pie or two.
There you go. Thanks so much, Sequid Deli, for feeding us, and hopefully they'll feed your family as well on Thanksgiving. More championship football here on the Varsity Media Sports Network when we return.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Welcome back to Stewart Stadium here on the campus of Hofstra University. Halftime of the Nassau Conference 4 championship game, and it is Seaford with a 21-0 lead over Plainedge. You see the look on the field, the Plainedge band and kick line as well. Dylan Butler alongside Pat Pizzarelli, the Nassau County Executive Director of Athletics. And Pat, first we showed you those scenes just now, and I think it's one of the things that makes high school sports in general great, right? It's a community aspect, and you bring in the band and the cheerleaders and all the support. And we've had that throughout last weekend, this weekend as well. It's at the end of whether it's a win or a loss, it's about the community, and I think all of these programs have done a great job of that community feel.
Yeah, like our announcer Steve says, he says, yes, there are the players on the field, but then there are other athletes that are here. The band, the cheerleaders, the kick line, and it makes everyone together. And, it just brings a whole community together. When you're successful, especially in football, everyone comes together. As you know, I was at Lawrence, for a number of years. And when we had those good seasons, everyone was there. You walk around town, everyone's talking to you, and it's great. It really is a great feeling, and it makes the school so much better.
What I thought was really cool here, too, as well, and it's a different setup that you guys have as compared to Suffolk, is for so many years the Suffolk championship games were at Stony Brook, right? And it was just for the championship game. But here in Nassau, I love that it's the semifinals and the finals. We spoke with some of these coaches last year. Last week it was East Meadow's first trip in 10 years.
Isn't that something?
Lynbrook, they're trying to rebuild and get to their greatness they once had. They haven't been here in a long time. So even just the journey, it's something that all these coaches check. Get to Hofstra, the great facilities that they have here at Hofstra and everything that comes with it. I think it's such a great job that you guys do here in Nassau County to not just make it your championship venue, but to make it the Final Four, to have all these different teams get that experience.
Yeah, well, one of the things, I coached in the 80s, in Nassau County. I was at Plainedge, actually, in the 80s. And the goal of every kid that plays high school football in Nassau County is to make it to Hofstra. Make it to we call it the Big Four championships. Yeah. And that's the goal. You get there, and as you can see earlier and today, anything can happen when you get to Hofstra, and, it's lots of fun. And I would think any kid that started playing football and we started coming to Hofstra, they'll remember the goal is let's get to Hofstra.
Even before that, right, a lot of these programs, they've got great youth setups, Massapequa Mustangs. Like, so these are little kids who are sitting in the stands, and then one day they're becoming Chiefs, and they're playing on the field, and they get to have that.
It's funny you said that. I'm a former Mustang. I'm a former Chief. So back a long time ago now.
Yeah,
You know.
But another thing too that it hit the news recently, and I think Nassau County in general, Pat, under your leadership, I think you guys deserve a ton of credit here. There was a situation at Locust Valley, right, where a young man unfortunately had a medical situation, and right away the coaches did what they were trained to do. They got the AED. They saved this young man's life, and I think the training that these coaches in Nassau County, what you guys do for them, is second to none. And obviously, you never want it to be a situation where it's put to use, but you want quick, decisive action when it is, and that's what we saw there at Locust Valley.
Well, that's actually a state rule. Coaches have to be certified in CPR and first aid. And those coaches were right on. And that young man is living today because of those coaches. And kudos to Locust Valley. That's great. That's the nice stuff, Well, like last basketball season, the official that went down, that's the positives of high school athletics and everyone being there for each other and, really taking care of each other, because that's what athletics is about.
No doubt. And, we're certainly very excited to have this partnership with you guys at Section 8 and being able to bring these games as well. And we've had some excitement here, and we're going to have a fun second half, I think, in this one.
I tell you what, it's been a great 2 weeks. Last week and this week, it's been great. This is, for me, everyone knows I'm a football guy, right? I'm accused of that, and yes, I am a football guy. I've coached other sports too, but football's my love and my passion. And coming here these 2 weekends, and then, of course, next weekend where the other people have the game, but that's a whole nother story. It's just fun time for me because I sit up here and I watch the games, and hopefully there's no problems that I have to deal with. It usually is not, but it's fun watching our high school athletes, our girls, our bands, and everyone out there, having a good time. And the weather today is, like, unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, and that helps.
And I'll tell you what, too, Pat, I was out at boys soccer a couple weeks ago. The fans, the support they had there at Farmingdale, those facilities, outstanding. It's to me, it's the perfect time of year because you get the culmination of a season, but when you get that community outpouring that you do, especially here in football and other sports as well, that's what makes high school sports so special.
Special, right.
Yeah.
It's the purest sport there is, I believe.
I agree. We're in agreement, Pat Pizzarelli and I. Pat, thanks so much for joining us here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate all you guys do. We have lots of fun together, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll have an off-air conversation about which was the best Frederick brother of all time over at Lawrence.
That was when I was at Lawrence, right? Yeah, yep.
Halftime here is the Conference 4 championship game. Second half when we return on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Back here at Stewart Stadium, we want to thank again Section 8 Executive Director Pat Pizzarelli for joining us. It's Dylan Butler, it's Kevin Dolan. 21-0 is the lead for Seaford in this Nassau Conference 4 championship game. As Kev, let's take a look at some of those first half stats in this one.
Well, you know what? I mean, obviously the most compelling one is the score. And, you know, that Seaford has come out, taking control of this game and run the stuff that they do well is outstanding. That Plainedge offense, though, when you look at that rushing, it's not a huge difference, but it reminds us that that's there. It's what the Plainedge kids do really, really well. First downs is the whole show. And when you're turning the chains that many times, it also means you're controlling the clock.
I mean, I personally, like, when you look at I would have guessed coming in that passing number, that would have been reversed. I would have said that we got that wrong on the screen, that it's actually 165 for Plainedge. But what a job defensively Seaford does. But listen, it is cliche, but it also rings true. This is a 4-quarter sport, right? So let's see what happens now after the coaches had these guys in the locker rooms and made some adjustments here at halftime. And it starts with a big return out towards midfield. So a good start for Plainedge, and they've kind of lived right about at midfield through much of that first half. They've just not been able to get into the end zone.
You know, but big, turnarounds and big turnarounds is what Plainedge is going to need. Let's not glance over that. It's going to be a big turnaround, but it starts with big statements, and that return right there, that's a big statement. A great field position for the Devils.
Yeah, big credit there to Brady Kelly with the return. So Plainedge 1st and 10 from their own 45-yard line. So Torres back out onto the field. It was a struggle for him in the first half. He went 1 of 9 for 21 yards and an interception. Here is Fella. And Fella doesn't get too much there. His first half was 11 carries for 51 yards.
Boy, two huge tackles right there by 52 and 54. Miranda and Kind really coming down and shutting down that run attempt.
So that was no gain on first down. 2nd and 10 from the 45-yard line. Direct snap to Fella. Tries to follow the blocker. He avoids the tackle, I should say, by Kind. And that's the funny thing, when you make these long runs, as it looks like Campbell is injured for Seaford. Good to see that the big man is up. But once you're able to turn the corner, generally that's a nice sized run, as that was, which will set up a manageable 3rd down for the Red Devils.
Yeah, when Dylan Fella or Jackson Dart get those big bodies turned around and they're going north, that's a lot of power coming downhill.
So a 3rd and 4 officially. Torres hands off. Turning Fella. He was stopped short. He was at the 45-yard line, and you've got to get to the 43, so a couple of yards short there, as there is an injured player down for Seaford right now. And
it's number 5, Connor Murphy, and he's really in a lot of pain down there, holding what looks like to be his left ankle or lower leg. And you know, sometimes I see these things and I say, you know what, hopefully maybe he just got a little scared and twisted that ankle the wrong way. Let's hope we can get him back up on his pins.
Yeah, in the meantime, let's take a quick break. You're watching the Nassau Conference 4 Finals on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now. Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
Merrill, oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels.
Back at Stewart Stadium. 4th and 3, and Fella. What a second effort by him, as he will move the chains for the Red Devils.
And folks, apologies, that was not number 5, Connor Murphy. I don't know who that injury was to, the 5 number on the jersey, but whoever it was, let's hope that he's healthy and you know, if Seaford is successful today, he gets a chance to play a little more football next week.
1st and 10 from the 42-yard line. Ooh, dangerous direct snap back to Fella. Nearly put him on his own back, but Fella, what a turn of events there. What would have been a really big loss turns into a huge gain for Dylan Fella.
You know what's happening, Dylan? I don't like this with Seaford defense, who's played great tonight. You see here there's a lot of messy tackling surfaces, and the kids and the coaches, they're starting to scream and yell about holding and different stuff. You can't worry about that stuff. Just keep playing football. Just keep playing football. Those flags will come out with you or without you.
1st and 10 from the 26-yard line. Turning it upfield. Now back to the outside is Fella. A little shake, a little bake, and he's forced out inside the 20.
Boy, Plainedge is now showing their own type of patience here in the run game. Keeping it wide. You know, they're gaining 2 yards, and they'll do it again the other direction. They gain 5 yards, and they're controlling the clock and moving the ball down the field.
Red zone time for the Red Devils. 2nd and 2 from the 18-yard line. Handoff up the middle, spinning, turning inside the 10-yard line. Vardamaksos.
Now there was a good old-fashioned inside zone. You get left tackle, left guard, Jaden Camp, number 50, comes down hard, makes a huge block on number 54, Kind, and opens up a great hole.
1st and goal from the 10-yard line. Handoff again. Vardamakos tries to get inside the 10. He will for a gain of 1.
Boy, we're seeing this from both defenses tonight. Plainedge comes back with the same inside zone. And, you know, the Seaford Vikings, hey, we've seen that play already. They shut it right down.
2nd and goal from the 9. Fella direct snap. Has Torres as a blocker. Turns upfield. Continues his run. And he's taken down just shy of the goal line.
Boy, these kids are really being physical down there. The the collisions on tackle, the running by all the running backs from Plainedge, and, of course, the blocking inside. One of the things that's hurting the Vikings is they're penetrating and trying to get to the running back, but they're going underneath the blockers, which is allowing the running backs to get to the corner.
3rd and goal from the 2. Can Torres get his guys in the end zone for the first time today? Look it out. Direct snap, fumble. Fella still on his feet, turns it upfield, but he is swarmed by a slew of Vikings. And a self-inflicted wound again affects Plainedge. So now it's a 4th and goal, but it's from the 12-yard line.
Boy, self-inflicted is right, but you know what? Very lucky at the same time. You know,
lucky
that
at the bounce.
Yes, that Dylan was able to come up with that short hopper and secure the ball.
Oh, here we go. The fake toss. Torres, that was short. And another turnover on downs for Plainedge.
Huge stop for the for the Seaford Vikings. Huge stop right here. Plainedge has it all going on this drive. Come back. I love the play call. This little fake toss, tight end. It's called a tight end hide. Not bad coverage by Seaford. I mean, he picks up on that young man early. That's Finn Curry, but just unable to connect.
So Seaford ball at their own 12-yard line. A 21-0 lead for the Vikings. Spinella was excellent in the first half. Fumble on the ball. Looks like Plainedge has come away with it. And they do.
Well, just goes to show us that ball does bounce both directions. Plainedge comes up with a big fumble recovery. And let's face it, why does this fumble recovery happen? Because the physicality that they bring to this tackle, boom, right there.
And there you see Johnny Sinar. What a look from Kevin Catalanato down on the field. Sinar fell on it. And what a moment now for the Red Devils. They take over from the Seaford 15. Torres tucks it under, breaks the first tackle, and he falls inside the 10. And Torres kind of stretching out that leg there, it looks like, as he lost his shoe on that play.
You know, again, I've seen Jackson play a couple of times this season. Sometimes it seems as he's moving a little gingerly out there. You know, and that's what happens in football, especially with a big physical kid like him. You know, he's delivering blows and being very physical, but he's also taking a lot of collisions, and it starts to add up as the season goes.
Torres takes it himself, cuts inside. What a hit at the 5-yard line. That was a serious collision.
Nothing being given out for free today.
Thomas Miranda went down for Seaford as we take a look from the end zone. Oh.
Well, these boys have come to play football tonight, and you know, Dylan, like when you, and I've been on both sides of this as a coach. When the kids start to get banged up and hurt, and you have these minor injuries and sometimes more difficult injuries, it just ruins everything. You want everybody walking off that field healthy.
Take a quick break here. You're watching the Conference 4 championship game on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
And here he comes again. Off the backboard! Are you serious?
Daly tries another three. That one's good. One from the left corner, now from the right. Daly's on fire with 10 points in the opening quarter.
Loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash. What a way to end the third quarter.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
This is Jalen Brunson. You're watching Varsity Media.
Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
Well, I've been working with Varsity Media for, 14 years. When we have video needs, whether that be a game, whether that be a practice, whether it be social media, it's nice to know that somebody understands what we're looking for without asking for it.
We started working with Varsity Media back in 2021, and since then they've been an absolute game changer, putting our event on the map. Varsity Media couldn't be a better partner, and if you're looking to optimize your event, I couldn't recommend them anymore.
It's been great for us. You know, the kids really get excited when they know that Varsity Media is going to be here. Not just what's happening on the football field, but all the excitement that's around it. It really boosted the environment here, and everybody gets really excited for what's going on.
Varsity Media, it's reliable.
I'm back here at Hofstra, 3rd and 1 from the 6-yard line. So they went with a sneak with Torres. Let's see if he got it or not. No indication yet. And there it is from our referee, Tom Sheehan. So 1st and goal now for Plainedge from the 5. Torres turns the corner. Torres leans forward, and he is stopped just short of the end zone.
There is nothing going to be easy tonight in this game. The scoring, the getting the first downs. These boys on both sides are paying a physical price here for gaining inches to get towards that end zone.
2nd and goal from the 2. Torres fakes the handoff, lowers the shoulder. He's stopped again.
Wow. Seaford talked about winning the battle at the offensive line and running in the trenches. I know they're backed up to their own 1, but that was great penetration on that last play. Forced Jackson to pull the ball, and it wasn't exactly the situation he wanted.
3rd and 1. Could be a pivotal couple of plays here in this game. 3rd and 1 from the 1. This time it'll be Fella. Turns the corner, no problem for Dylan Fella. He gets in the end zone. Touchdown, Plainedge.
Obviously a really, really big score for the Devils here. Get your big quarterback out. Again, I can't believe I keep saying this. You get your quarterback out there laying big blocks out in the lead. And, of course, we've got number 5. Who is this? Come on. Oh, Dom Agavino. What am I thinking? Out there with a great stalk block on the edge.
Well, Agavino went to be the holder then, and the PAT by the Fruchinator, Gianluca Frucci, was up, and it was good. And finally, I don't think anybody had this on their bingo card, but finally, with 4:59 left in the third quarter, Plainedge gets on the scoreboard.
But you know, it's funny, you know, nobody's held Plainedge off this long, and people at home might be saying Seaford's still in a great spot, but this score puts a little bit of a chill through the Vikings coaching staff, because this is where big comebacks come from. The first score is still he's still just under midway through the third quarter. This is where Plainedge starts to maybe get their confidence back.
For Dylan Fella, touchdown run number 19 on the season. And I would agree. I think a response is an important one here for Seaford.
Very interesting here. Seaford is aligned in a short kick or onside return posture. And I'm not quite sure that that's something Plainedge wants to do right now.
That Plainedge drive was 6 plays for 15 yards. It will bounce, and a good job just by Falk for letting that go out of bounds, as the flags will fly. 2:26 it took in that drive for Plainedge to find the end zone.
Yeah, that was a tough move by the kickoff team, because Seaford's now going to get 15 yards from the spot of where that went out of bounds, which is going to give them, it's been a theme for this game, great field position to start the offense.
It's all part of championship weekend here at Hofstra. The scene will shift tomorrow for the Conference 2 and 3 championships. We'll have those games for you as well right here live on our YouTube channel. Thanks again to Ed Remodeling for making that possible. Noon kickoff, Long Beach Garden City, and then 4:30, Bethpage Wanta. It'll be an extremely busy day and weekend here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Handoff up the middle, short gain at that. We'll also be at 2 different Catholic High School Football League championship games. You'll be on the call across the street there at Mitchell Athletic Complex for the AA2 championship game at 11 a.m., which will pit Zavarian against Holy Cross. I will be up on the Rose Hill campus of Fordham University for the AA1 championship game, which will pit St. Joe's by the Sea against Xavier, and then the 2:30 AAA championship between Monsignor Farrell and Iona Prep. All those games on the Varsity Media Sports Network. And yeah, you just saw that on the top left. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. 2nd and 8 from the 37-yard line. Spinella, plenty of time, airs it out. Tip ball, interception. How did Agavino hold on to it? Or did he not?
Yeah, he got pulled out of bounds on that, but that does not take away from Dominic's incredibly athletic play. This one's going to come back, but you know what? It's just absolutely incredible job. And even so, without the catch and the interception, his read on this play, this is a play they scored a touchdown on earlier. His read on this play and his adjustment, it's a great, great job.
There's about 20 guys or 30 guys on that sideline all waving. No, no, no. 3rd and 8 from the 37. Chance of defense now from a Plainedge crowd that has been relatively quiet throughout this evening. Spinella. Ooh, that was nearly picked off, or was it actually picked off? Falk was the intended target. Sinar, who already has a, and they'll say no, it wasn't. Sinar already has a fumble recovery. And watch 4 here.
4th down.
Yeah, you see the ball drop.
Yeah, Seaford right now is taking a little inventory on their offense, and they're saying to themselves, you know what? We're up here by 2 touchdowns. We're not trying to be conservative, but let's not be too foolish with the football either, you know. And I'm sure they're discussing that with Michael right now on the sideline, and I think we're going to see them come back to do what they do best.
Ooh, that punt was nearly blocked. Defandi got it off. Attacking it there was Kelly. And is starting to feel, Kevin Dolan, like that pendulum swing of momentum heading the way of these Red Devils of Plainedge.
Well, you know what's happening, Dylan, is Vikings get the ball back, and I'm not second guessing the play calling, but I feel like they're getting away from what they do best. Some of the stuff they did a little bit earlier, the power football, the quick outs, the hitch routes, the quick swings out to Falk.
Well, 1st and 10 from their own 45-yard line. Torres tries to cut it to the outside. He's swallowed up.
I will say this great defense is something that they've been doing consistently all day long.
That time it looked like it was Falcon on the tackle.
You know what's nice to see, Dylan? It's nice to see number 52, Tom Miranda, on that last series back in the game. Tom was down. We're not really sure what his injury was, but great to see him back up on his feet and back out here and playing football for his team.
So a loss of 1 on that down. It is 2nd and 11 from the 44-yard line. Torres, short out. That is complete. So Manfrey.
Boy, you talk about a play that had the potential of opening up huge for them. Getting that ball to Manfrey out on the edge, and you see those Seaford Vikings really rally to the football and minimize the damage on that quick out in the flat.
So 3rd and 7. Ball at the 48-yard line for Plainedge. Torres, ton of time, slings it back across his body, and that is an incomplete pass. You mentioned it before, but it doesn't feel like Jackson Torres is himself here tonight.
Yeah, he's moving around. He's moving around fine. We've been crowing about the great blocks that he's thrown and all these things. But when you see him off the ball, he's moving around a little bit gingerly. And I wouldn't be surprised that this is an example of the season starting to catch up to him. When you play this physical, it's hard to stay healthy. It's hard to be that healthy at the end. And, but again, he's trying to make plays. Coaches are always screaming, or fans when we watch on television, never throw across your body like we saw in that last play. Never throw across the field. But, Jackson knows that it's becoming late early, and he knows he's got to make a play, and I applaud him. He's gutsy. He's gutsy and courageous.
So timeout by Plainedge. Want to again thank Edge Remodeling. Eddie Marquez sitting in the press box here watching as well with Edge Remodeling. They provided exceptional general contractor service in Franklin Square for several years. Owner and Sewannica graduate Eddie Marquez prides himself on satisfying customers by extending affordable, high quality, and professional services to make your remodeling dreams come true. Call today for consultation, 516-860-8630, 4th and 7 from the 48. Trips right. Torres will run that way. Back foot.
Wow.
Incomplete. It was nearly picked off by Calvaca.
Wow. Calvaca. You know, this is a guy who last week was not really part of my lexicon. And, man, he made himself known with some huge runs. And he's doing it again right out here, but now on the defensive side of the ball. What a break on that football. And talk about a timely play.
And what a break in a way, too, for Seaford, right? If he makes the interception, you're back a little bit further on your side of the field. Instead, you'll have a 1st and 10 from the Plainedge 48.
Got everything they wanted. They got the ball. They got the field position. Now, once again, Dylan, I think they gotta look for some points.
You see Spinella's numbers on the night: 12 of 18 for 165 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Direct snap to Falk on that play. I'll tell you, different, you know, they're both excellent running backs, Fella and Falk. A little bit built differently, though, right? Falk a little bit taller at 6'2", 195. Fella is 195, but he's 5'10".
You know, Fella has that shiftiness to him that you do like on some backs. And Falk, to me, is more like a locomotive. And with those locomotives, you know, once he gets that straight line and that bead on the sideline, you can't catch him.
So a 2nd and 10 from the 48-yard line. Spinella over the middle and just out of the hands of Rosen. You love the look on that play, just the execution a little bit off.
Again, great placement of the ball by Mike Spinella. Puts it in a spot where the only guy who could have caught that was Rosen, and he was fingertips away from being able to make a play.
So a 3rd and 10 now from the 48-yard line. 1:49 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Seaford looking to pull the upset here. They're up 21-7. Spinella, look out. Pressure comes his way, and he is sent to the turf. Demetrius Vardamakos with the sack.
You know, Demetrius in some ways is mirrors Seaford's man Calvaca, both number 23, both kids that make huge plays at really, really important times. And they get quiet for a while, and then they reemerge with a huge shout, and that was a big, big play.
So Defandi back to punt. If you remember, his last punt very nearly blocked. It'll be Agavino deep at his own 30 for the Red Devils. Miranda will be the long snapper. The snap is perfect. And a good end-over-end punt that'll be fielded at the 21-yard line by Agavino. Tries to find the hole. Instead, he finds a bunch of Seaford tacklers as he's taken down at the 30-yard line. And now another chance for this Plainedge offense. You can't say they've lacked chances in this game. They've had their opportunities. It's a combination of they're not executing, but also what Seaford has been doing defensively.
And you know, again, I had said this earlier in the first half, and it ringing in my ear, a comment by Coach Shaver during the week interview with you, Dylan, that, you know, we got to remember that the guys over at Seaford are coaching as well. And they have done a great job of scheming up a defensive plan for tonight's game.
So 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Vardamakos with the run up the middle for a short gain. Final 35 seconds of this 3rd quarter.
Very interesting right here. Seaford is taking a lot of attention away from Plainedge's run game, and they're bringing the free safety over to really pay some special attention to Taylor Nitch. Taylor, Hasn't had a big night tonight in terms of receiving, but he's had a big season.
Torres look out on the pressure. Sack, loses the football. What's the call? They're going to say that he was down.
And you know what? I think it was a great call. I think it was great pressure by Seaford. He was down. You know, the concern was this a fumble? I don't think so.
No, you can see the ball. But when he was down, the ball was already on the turf. Kind fell on it, but Plainedge will live to play another down here as we head to the fourth quarter. Well, they got some life here at the goal line as Dylan Fella finds his way in the end zone. Can the Red Devils rally in the fourth quarter? That comes up next on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Seaford Deli, that is your place to go for Thanksgiving. What a great menu they have for you. The turkey, the stuffing, all the fixins, and some pie. Doesn't get better than that. Food, football, family, all right there at the Seaford Deli. We start our fourth quarter on a play that was not kind to Plainedge.
You know, that was a play. I don't know if you remember that play last week that Seaford ran. It's called a sprint draw, where he drops the ball and hands it off with his opposite hand. Not an easy play to run, but Seaford has really schemed out this offense. Kudos to, I don't know who the defensive coordinator is over there, but he has done one tremendous job of preparing these boys.
Well, you didn't look at your notes here because I can give you that answer. That's Matt Moody.
Matt Moody. Well, Coach Moody, outstanding job.
Oh, and this one, I think it was deflected, and it lands out of bounds. So a great chance here for Seaford.
41-yard line.
As they take over at the Plainedge 41.
So county championship weekend continues tomorrow.
Seaford, no strangers to success. All those great years under the legendary Rob Perpall. 11 county championships altogether, 3 Long Island titles. For many years, they were that team in Nassau Conference 4, that juggernaut. You see the last 3 years losing in the semifinals in 22 and the final in the Long Island final in 23. And then last year going 5-5, losing in the semifinals. But they had some great battles with Joe Vito's Roosevelt teams, and what a juggernaut that Vito had there as well. Hand off to Falk, tries to cut it back inside. And again, not much doing there. That'll be a loss of 2, it looks like, for Seaford.
I know that's a modest play right there, but honestly, Dylan, I think that's some of the stuff that Seaford needs to get back to. Let's get Falk directly back involved in this game. Mix it up a little bit with a little Calvaca. They're going to move those chains and keep that clock running.
Second and 12 from the 43-yard line. We showed you that championship for Seaford. That was in 23. They beat Cold Spring Harbor 30-6. That was their 11th and latest championship. Toss comes to the right side. Again, it is Falk, and he is shut down by Johnny Sinar. His Red Devils are not winning, but it's not due to Sinar's lack of effort. He has been balling all game.
Yeah, and what I love, you love seeing this because you're seeing a bunch of kids who are not those frontier players, but are saying, you know what, the ship is taking on water. I'm going to do a little bit more than start bailing out. I'm going to start making some differences here, and that's making a difference.
Third and 17. Spinella ducks out of pressure, tucks the ball under, and just is making sure that he doesn't turn the ball over at that point. Gets out to about the 46, and Seaford here will play that field position game. It was a drive that essentially was about the clock, right? And you're taking off about 3 minutes of it to start the fourth quarter.
That was actually, it was not the worst result in that drive. As you said, they did take a lot of time off this clock. I would like to see, if you're a Viking guy, you know, let the punter take as much time off this clock as well. Find that official who's giving you your 10-second account and use every second of it.
And again, Defandi playing with fire there. Nearly again blocked. Instead, it will go out of bounds. And again, it's Plainedge, this offense that has been lights out throughout the regular or throughout the entire season. Sputtering right now, spinning its wheels, but they have had an outstanding season. And again, 10-0 on the year. They average 42.5 points per game. Only have given up 7.5 points per game.
Well,
sorry, Kevin, only once have they given up more than 21 points, and that was in a 45-35 win over Lynbrook.
Well, you know, it gets back to that earlier discussion we were having. You know, what's best for your team? Do you want to cruise into this game, or do you want to have to battle and struggle your way into this game? And, you know, we're going to find that out in 8 minutes and 29 seconds.
And here's that trick play. Wobbly throw. It finds Nitch down the field. It wasn't the prettiest of passes, but it was the biggest play from scrimmage today for the Red Devils.
Boy, and this was a college pipe play because Jackson paid for it. He took a beating on that pass, and he knew it was coming. But he sits in there with a ton of courage. That's what great quarterbacks have to do, and completes a big ball for his team.
1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. Here comes Fella. Angles his run, and he is pulled down outside the 15, and it's starting to feel like that play has really given these Red Devils a lot of confidence.
Boy, Brian Falk came downhill like a dart coming down there trying to make this tackle, and just slipped off a fella.
First and 10 from the 21-yard line. There's that direct snap again. Fella avoids a couple of tacklers, pulled down from behind.
We get Tommy Miranda. Once again, here comes back Brock Conway coming down and bracketing Fella. Trying to hang on to this, and you know what? Trying to, if they're going to be successful and score some points, trying to make them bleed out as much time as possible.
A loss of 1 on first down. 2nd and 11 for Plainedge. Now Fella tries to turn the corner on the outside, and a late flag is thrown. It looked like it was Miranda on the tackle. Let's see what our referee Tom Sheehan has here. It'll be a hold on the offense.
You know, it's a hard thing when you're running. They're having so much success running to the edge and getting outside. running power sweep, running quick pitch and toss. But it puts a lot of strain on those linemen. And I think Bobby Westcott, an outstanding offensive lineman, is, he's starting to get gassed, and it's not easy to keep those good surfaces without holding.
2nd and 21. Torres. And that is a little bit too strong. Oh, and a flag is thrown. I didn't think this was a catchable ball, Kevin.
Well, you know what? A catchable ball is not part of the high school call. You're either holding or pass interfering or you're not. To your point, I think it should be part of the high school rule, but it's not. Not a big fan of that call right there, Dylan. Referees have really worked hard to stay out of this game and not get involved in silly pass interference calls. And I think that one kind of opened the gate. I'm starting to wonder, is he going to wave this off? Nope, they're going to call it.
So they're just going to march it off now.
Yards forward. Ball now at the 12-yard line.
As the ball will sit on the 12 for Plainedge. At least we think so. As Tom Sheen looks like he's going to back it up a little bit here.
Yeah, I didn't think they were that far away. Obviously they were. It's a 15-yard penalty.
Was this one of those situations where did the chains move to?
No, I don't think so. It was just it was a long gainer. They had the hold prior to that.
Well, we'll have additional conversations here.
So that should have made it 2nd and 20.
Good look there at Rob Shaver. Picked up his 200th career win in week 1, but in typical Rob Shaver fashion was like, that's, so what? Not a big deal to me. It's not about my wins and losses.
Yeah, meanwhile, Coach Dolan's got to coach for about 300 years to get to that point, It's a great milestone. I'm going to take the accolades for Coach Shaver. It's really something to be proud of. That's a lot of work, a lot of time, and a lot of joy for him. And I think that's what he's really talking about.
2nd and 13 officially from the 19 now. And some movement there. It's a sloppy drive here in the final 6:46 of regulation.
It's very interesting, that the kids are getting a little too on both sides. I said this earlier about Seaford with the holding calls. Now it's Plainedge with a bit of quirkiness on the adjudication of these fouls. Don't get wrapped up in these officials or the events. Just play the play.
Torres looks for a niche and just over his shoulder.
Very, very nice play right there, and a really smart, mature throw by Jackson Torres. I know he'd want to shorten that one up a little bit, but put it in a good spot. They took a shot at the end zone. I like it. Excellent reaction from the cover 2 safety. Seaford, that's number 25, and that's Jackson Pignataro.
You alluded to before, he's affectionately called Piggy. 3rd and 18. Torres, does he have some magic in that arm, or maybe his legs? Throws, end zone, touchdown, Plainedge.
Oh boy. Oh boy, I think he was over the line of scrimmage.
It was to Dylan Fella, and that's exactly what the officials are talking about. I'm not sure if we can get a vantage point. It won't be this look, though. This is end zone, and a lot of jumping up and down going on that Seaford sideline.
Yeah.
It'll be our main camera look if we have it.
You can see where his front foot was on that play when he threw it. The stick is on the 24-yard line.
Well, Shaver is beyond. Look at the sticks.
Yeah, I think they got him. So it is close. It's very, very close, but I think they did get him on that call.
And what makes it even tougher, right, is oh, man, I don't know.
Wow, it's close. It is close. You know what? I take that back. It is gosh darn close. It's not the best view for us, but boy, oh boy, is that close.
So you could see right there at the 4-yard line.
No, yes. Actually, the stick is back at the 16.
Well, no, the stick on the 16 that wasn't the line of scrimmage one. It was the one that was back further, which is now lined up at the 34.
Well, here we are at the 34. And, you know, as I said earlier, you never discount Plainedge. They've got a play for every single situation. Empty formation, 4 receivers on one side of the ball.
It is a 4th and half of Nassau County here. Torres. He has the arm to get it there. Looks end zone. Jump ball. Knocked away. Calvaca with the defensive play.
Wow, what a play by Calvaca. Boy, that was taking me back to that semifinal last year when Jackson tossed that ball into the end zone for the win. This kid has some arm. Beautiful, beautiful pass.
So now it's Seaford ball. Timeout situation is as such. It's 3 timeouts left for the Vikings, 2 for the Red Devils.
I'll tell you, I got to hand it to Coach Shaver and his staff. I'm looking down here. There's been a lot of tough calls for the officials and a lot of quirkiness in the flow of play. They do not get themselves wrapped up with the emotions of yelling at refs, and they keep their minds focused on the kids and the game at hand. So you don't see that very much.
Run up the gut to Falk. And you know who you haven't seen a lot of, at least on the offensive side, and maybe, again, it speaks to what you need to do defensively. We haven't seen a lot of Calvaca offensively as we did in the second half of the semifinals.
Yeah, I'm not sure this is Calvaca's kind of game. This is a lot of heavy defensive players coming down hard and defending the run a little bit better than last week's opponent. And Calvaca's a smaller, lighter back, built for speed. This is a Falk kind of night.
2nd and 6 from the 38-yard line. Spinella goes sideline, and that's incomplete. Hennessy was your intended target.
You know, you complete that pass a little bit better on the follow-through, and it's a genius play. You don't complete that pass, and we're looking at a clock sitting at 5:36. You got to keep that clock moving. I'll tell you, Dylan, you and I have seen Plainedge play 1,000 times. These guys are not done.
Spinella. That's a long, deep look, and there's a flag the other way. The intended target was Villek, and they'll call pass interference, it looks like, against Plainedge and Nick Casino. Another look here.
Yeah, right here, what are we seeing? In the Plainedge, and I get it, the Plainedge guys are emotional right now, and they're not happy with it, saying it's a bad call. I think it was a good call. Disappointing, but a good call.
One thing that Casino never did was never turn back to look at the ball or play the ball. He played the man the entire way.
Yeah, he was blind to the ball, and he reached across his body. And that's what gets you. That's what gets you nailed on that play. At the same time, Dylan, he did the right thing. You can't let him catch that ball. So you know what? You take the 15. As we said earlier, you live to play another day.
1st and 10 from the 47-yard line. Spinella hands off, and there's Falk. Look at the shiftiness from Falk, and he will get a first down to the Plainedge 35.
Big play. That might be the biggest play of the half for Seaford right now. You move the chains, and not only are you moving the chains, you're going to easily take this clock into the 4-minute range, and that's changed the game a lot. Scoring 2 touchdowns with under 5 minutes. Now we're into miracle mode here.
Well, Seaford in no hurry, obviously. Spinella has a great view of the play clock because it's with the official right facing him. Hands off. There is Falk again, turning, spinning. Gets a few yards. And Plainedge will take one of their final 2 timeouts left with 4:28 remaining in regulation time. You want to stick with us here post-game because we will have the Mad Men Player of the Game. Mad Men specializing in traditional haircuts, hot shaves, and beard trims. Voted the best barber shop on Long Island. You're invited this Thanksgiving Eve. Walk in only, and you'll walk out a gentleman. Mad Men and Company. Now the committee in that Conference 1 game met in the second half. We went with 2 different Massapequa players for the Mad Men Players, plural, of the game. Will that happen here? Jack Mulligan, Anthony Danello were the 2 for the Chiefs. Will it be 1 Viking? Will it be 2 Vikings? You got to stick around post-game to find out. They'll, I think, adjust the clock here. Our referee, Tom Sheehan, is making a signal up to the press box. I think he wants 4:42 on the clock. At least that's what I can read. But I'm not sure if the clock operator up here has seen it. So Tom will again signal 4, 4, 2. Some frustration here. And I think we will finally get, nope, that's not it. And they'll have 4:32 on the clock. So here we go off the timeout. 2nd and 8 from the 33. Another handoff. Some more Falk magic to about the 30. And let's see if Plainedge goes with another timeout. Will they burn their final one here?
Kind of agree with this with Coach Shaver. Hang on to that last timeout. It's 3rd down. You're going to have to eat some time someplace. If you could save this final timeout for your offensive possession, I do agree with what he's got going on. I mean, what happens with an onside kick? You can't even think that far ahead in the game. The biggest problem right now, stop this 1st down. And Seaford, I would think, is going to give this one to Mr. Falk.
Well, first they'll take a timeout. We'll take it with them as well. 3:39 left. You're watching the Nassau Conference 4 Championship on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 75,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck. For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
So Seaford, 21-7 lead. They've got 2 timeouts left, one for Plainedge. 3:39 left. It's the 4th quarter. And the Vikings with a 21-7 lead. They're trying to avenge their lone loss of the season. You go back to Halloween night, cold, rainy, windy. It was a disaster of a day for Seaford, but they came in here with a ton of confidence, believing if they can play their football, if they could play mistake-free football, they'd have a chance. Well, not only do they have a chance, they've got a 2-touchdown lead with 3:39 remaining. There is Falk trying to cut it to the outside, pulled down from behind, and again, it's been Johnny Sinar all night long. What a play by Sinar.
Woo, look at this kid come down. Talk about a timely play for the Devils. Great job. And it was a great call by Seaford. You know, that's the guy you wanted having the ball. Putting him out in open space like that, why not? I mean, he's just capable of so many things. But you know what? They're going to go for it right now. I like that. And since the clock will stop anyway, if they don't get this 1st down, they may want to think about putting this one up in the air. It's something that they've done, that Michael has done very well tonight with his receivers, and just getting this route. Run one of those quick outs or a stick route.
Well, Plainedge there, they did take their final timeout with 3:32 remaining. So, in essence, this could be their season here on 4th and 6. I think especially considering time and score. 1-score game, maybe not. Maybe you can get a turnover. You can get something back. You could force them 3 and out. But here we go.
You know what, Dylan? Looks like we're going to have a light rush here. They're going to drop off just a little bit. Hey, take a shot at the end zone.
Spinella, little trickery on that play. We said about Calvaca. Pulled down at the 40 by who else? Johnny Sinar. And it'll be Plainedge ball now with 3:25 remaining.
Biggest series of Sinar's season right here. Twice he's come up with this huge tackle for loss. Look at him drop those hips and bring him down, and that's not an easy kid to track down, Calvaca.
Again, Plainedge, they have been lights out explosive this season. 42 points per game. They've got the ability to break out a big play on any play from the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10 from their own 41-yard line. Empty backfield for Torres. Slings it far sideline. He's got a receiver. It's Casey Hour, who will get out of bounds at the first down marker, at a little past it, so they'll move the chains.
Love what Plainedge is doing right here. It's more than Taylor niche. That's what they're saying. And they're using a nice little soft roll for Jackson to give him the time and space to zip those sideline routes.
1st and 10 from the Seaford 49-yard line. There's that inside handoff. There's Vardamakos. This one, they tried it earlier. It was blown up. And this time, Vardamakos will move the chains again, as Plainedge, understandably, will go quickly here.
Really is a great play. And for those of you at home, it is not an easy play to run.
1st and 10 from the Seaford 37. Torres surveys the situation, runs back across, has a man open in the middle, and that was Hour. Broken up nicely by Finn Curry on the other side.
Boy, and Matt Kind got a big collision on Jackson Torres right there. Jackson is showing some signs of fatigue. He's been very, very physical this game. He's fighting hard right now to just, keep that courage going and keep his energy focused on scoring.
And Plainedge doesn't have a timeout to give him either. 2:55 left in the fourth quarter. Torres ducks under pressure. Kind part of the pursuit. And Torres hit hard at about the 32-yard line. They've got to peel off quickly because the clock is continuing to run.
Whoa, Jackson clearly limping here. Trying to stretch out a calf, it looks like.
And I think they'll give him an injury timeout here.
Well, it's
and
good.
He is, sorry, Kevin, he is, I think, asking for the change. Or is actually, in soccer, that's a asking for a substitute. In football, it's I want the next play. So
yeah,
that is what Torres will do here.
Well, they stopped the clock here, and he's got to leave the game, because of this injury timeout. So he's going to have to step out for one play. We're seeing number 18, Aiden Ryan, coming into the game.
3rd and 5 from the 32-yard line. Ryan. That's a great looking pass for Ryan. It'll be short, though, of the first down marker.
I don't know how long Aiden's staying in for one play, but huge shout out to Aiden Ryan coming sprinting in off the field. Ready, helmet on, completes a pass. Great job by that kid.
Well, here we go. This is the game right now for Plainedge. 4th and 3 from the 29-yard line. Or 4th and 2. Torres back in there. Seaford threatening to bring the house here. 143. Torres, empty backfield. Slings it to Nitch. Bounces. Incomplete. It was bobbled by Nitch. And the Seaford guys are celebrating.
you know what? And they got a lot to celebrate for, Dylan. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from the Plainedge season. It's a tremendous season and a tremendous effort. But Seaford has really done one hell of a job of playing hard football tonight and digging down deeper than, maybe beyond what they were capable of.
And now Seaford will go into victory formation. What a game by these Vikings. 35-0 they lost in the regular season to a Plainedge team that looked unbeatable, considering the lopsided nature of all of their wins this year. But yet it was Seaford here in the county championship game who will prevail. For Plainedge, Kevin, the heartbreak of back-to-back defeats in the county championship game. That is a tough pill to swallow.
It's tough, and you know what? I sometimes, I've always felt it to be tough, not only as a player but a coach. But now I'm sitting up here, and sometimes the lens is a lot clearer. And this is the best on the best. And you go out there, you do what you can, and at the end of the day, no matter what happens, win or lose, you were against the best. Huge shout out and congratulations to the Plainedge football program. And if this is it for Coach Shaver, if it is, because us coaches are quirky, absolute congratulations to him on a job well done.
And congratulations to the Vikings of Seaford. You see the scenes there on the field. They are your Nassau County 4 champions. What an upset here at Stewart Stadium. Those Vikings, they believed they'd have an opportunity if they played their brand of football. They did just that, and they are again champions of Nassau County. That's the 12th time in the program's history, first since 2023, as they knock off previously undefeated Plainedge. Seaford will advance to compete in the Long Island Class 4 championship.
Tomorrow, 4:30 start at Stony Brook Laval Stadium against the Suffolk County Division 4 champion, Avalon or Bayport Blue Point. We thank you for joining us here.
So you see some of the scenes, the traditional handshake.
So it's I got caught staring at this, Dylan. It's great to see the sportsmanship of the kids. Sometimes we focus on all the negative effects, the crazy fans and the disruptions and the distractions in sport. And this is what it's all about. Kids coming out here and playing like young men and accepting the results, being good winners and being respectful of each other. And I just, as a teacher, this is what you teach for. This is what you coach for.
Well, this is a night that the Sequoia no doubt is excited about, because both Seaford and Massapequa have pulled off wins here on County Championship Friday. So Seaford will do, it looks like a quick celebration here.
Yeah, it looked like they're getting ready to start warming up again and go to the fifth quarter.
They have another game to play in the Long Island Championship.
Boys, you got a couple of days to rest and practice,
Well, those are the best days, right, for a football team. You have another week with your boys. It's always special to practice on Thanksgiving morning And that's what these Vikings will be able to do as they prepare for the Long Island Championship.
I got to do that once. I forgot all about that. That's a lot of fun practicing on Thanksgiving morning, and you get in it's never a heavy workout. Nobody wants to get hurt at the end of the season. Then you get home and you have the big feast with your family. Well, I hope the kids from Seaford soak it all in and enjoy it.
Well, right now they'll go into the end zone and they'll take that team picture, one that they will no doubt remember for a lifetime. Congratulations to Mike McHugh and his coaching staff and all of those Vikings who are celebrating a county championship. What a moment for those Vikings. What a great look that is, huh?
That's a great look. Look at those guys. All those bad hair dyes and bad haircuts and everything's coming together for a memory that they'll never forget. Champions can't take that away ever.
Yeah, that is special, no doubt about it for those boys from Seaford.
Enjoy it, guys. Be safe and get yourselves ready for the next one.
Well, we will have the Mad Men players of the game, I believe, momentarily. At Mad Men, they specialize in traditional haircuts, hot shaves, and beard trims. Voted the best barber on Long Island. You're invited this Thanksgiving Eve. Walk in only and walk out a gentleman. Mad Men and Company. We will send it down to the field now where Ben Turchin has our Mad Men players of the game.
All right, thank you very much, Dylan. Here with Brian and Michael, the Mad Men players of the game. Guys, congratulations on the championship. You guys lost to Plainedge earlier in the season. I'm sure this week the message was, hey, let's get it back. Let's seek some revenge. Talk to us about what the practice week was like.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we were all locked in, dialed to the game plan. You know, going into this, we were 0-3 the past 2 years against them, and we lost here on a Hail Mary. So we knew we had to get our get back, and what a great way to do it in the Nassau County Chip.
And Brian,
You too, man. Thank you. Have a blessed one.
A lot of great calls. He threw a lot of great passes. It's just about deception. You know, they was calling my number, but they didn't know where I was going. So I just give props to my line and my quarterback right here.
And Mike, 12 for 22, 165 yards and 2 touchdowns. You guys came out throwing today. I don't know if Plainedge expected that, and you were hot, especially at the end of the first half with that big touchdown pass. Talk to us about your passing game today.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. Obviously, the O-line, we got 3 all-county all-linemen, and I mean, really, we should have 5. They played great today. I mean, barely any sacks. Nothing's done without them, so great job by them.
Well, you guys are our Mad Men players of the game. Here's a $5 coupon. I know your hair's looking good today, but if you need a little trimmed up this week, go check out Mad Men in Wantagh. They're not far from you guys. Congratulations again. You guys are going to the Long Island Championship. How does it feel?
Thank you.
Whoa! Catch us at Stony Brook, baby. Let's go! And we'll send it back up to Dylan and Kevin.
Thanks so much, Ben. What a moment there for Spinella and Falk, and I think they're rushing over now to get the Gatorade bath here for Coach McHugh. There it is. Look out, Brian Heyman from Newsday. How special is that? As McHugh doused with the Gatorade. How about another one?
Oh.
2 for $1.
He's going to be cashing in the insurance on that cell phone. Oh, man. Well, it's all worth it.
What a moment there for the Vikings, and congratulations to Brian Falk and Michael Spinella, our Mad Men players of the game. So what a game this was for Seaford. They came in to this one with a lot of belief that they can pull off the upset. And Brian Falk, he made sure of it. Runs into the end zone for that touchdown. And then Spinella connects long and late into the evening. That was at the end of the first half with Brian Hennessy. And then it was all about the celebration and the ice bath for head coach Mike McHugh as the Vikings win the Nassau Conference 4 Championship. For our executive producer, Ben Turchin, for our technical director, Chris Sweeney, for Tony DeMasso, Jeff Damo, Kevin Catalanato, bringing you all those great moving images. For my broadcast partner, Kevin Dolan, Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us from Hofstra. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.